while and on and on, without a clue, without a sign, without grasping it. The real question to be asked: where have I been? I'm a sharpshooter at Post Masquerade, hiding both face and mind, all free for you to draw. I'm a sharpshooter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark.
Okay. So we're back into Steins Gate. It's gonna be a 3-hour stream today from 8 to 11. So it's gonna be a little bit shorter than the ones we were doing before on fucking the 3rd. So we're just gonna get into it. Since we don't have a lot of time, I don't want to talk too much. Apart from me reading this whole damn game. So last time I left off, Mayuri was shot, dead, and in the panic after Suzuha helped us by turning on the CRT. After Suzuha helped us by turning on the CRT, me and Kurisu activated the time leap machine and we went back in time. Well, we sent our memories back in time. Dude, she was hit hard. She got capped. Kurisu goes shopping alone. I stay in the lab with Daru, waiting for Mayuri to return. She's back, guys. An innocent smile. Mayuri is alive. Nothing will happen to her. I was worried for nothing. When Suzuha arrives, we begin the meeting. Ocarine. I called Ferris-chan and Luka-chan, but they said they couldn't come. Heard these words before. Deja vu? A trick of the mind? Oh. Do they have plans? Ferris-chan has a Rhinet tournament. Crap, I should have gone to cheer. How careless of me. And Luka-chan seems embarrassed for some reason. Maybe she thinks you'll make her wear her costume again. Well, make her wear a costume again. It's just like my dream. I've never remembered a dream this vividly before. I remember every word that was spoken. Ohio! You still haven't convinced her to cosplay? She said it was embarrassing. I keep telling her cuteness is justice, but she never listens. Cuteness is justice. Is that what they say? You're cute too, Chris-chan. Hey, Komima's coming up. Want to go? I can't make something new, but I have a costume of post-awakening samurai from Blood Tune I made last year. I think the size is just right for you. Me? Cosplay? Sorta interested. But I refuse to do it in public, though. You don't have to show anyone, but eventually you'll want them to see. The cosplay demon compels you. That reminds me, Christian, you're always wearing that cute uniform. What school is it from? Oh, this? I attended Ayamine for about 2 weeks. I modeled this outfit after their uniform. Oh, their uniform is really cute, but you made it even cuter. You might have really good design sense. I'll bring the costume tomorrow, okay? Will you try it on then? Dude, her theme is banging too. Sure. When's the photo shoot? Good to know you're still a pervert, Hashida. Come on, it's Blood Tune. She's got a Panamore going on. Panamore? It means her panties are completely exposed. No way. It's okay. You might not know this, but last year there was a really popular saying. They're not panties, so it's not embarrassing. Japan is over. Weird, okay? It's a promise. Maybe you shouldn't bother. Suzuha speaks, her tone sharp. She's scowling at Kurisu again. Suddenly the atmosphere in the room changes. I remember this too. I feel like I'm losing my mind here. You're asking for trouble by trusting Makise Kurisu. What's that supposed to mean? I've been meaning to ask, did I do something to you? Not to me, but I know everything you have done. What do you mean? I've done nothing to be guilty of. Perhaps, but I know your true nature. Oh, you can see into my heart? That's groundbreaking technology. I'd love to hear how it works. It's not science, it's a prediction. You're just making it up. I know. Ocarine? Mayuri clings to me with teary eyes. Stop them from fighting. Should I listen to Mayuri's plea, like I did in the dream? Knowing that I can't stop the fight, should I just let Mayuri handle it instead? I don't know, I can't move a muscle. Jeez. Mayuri pouts, then goes out over to the two girls. Yeah, Suzuha's fun. Guys, Mayuchi doesn't like it when you fight. Let's all get along, okay? Dairo comes over to chat with Suzuha, and gradually peace returns to the lab. Kurisu's in the development room, making a call, probably to her mother in America. I sit on the sofa and watch TV while sipping Dr. P, but I can't pay attention to what I see on the screen. It doesn't enter my head. Mayuri sits down next to me. She peels a banana and begins eating it. Hey, Ocarine? It's been really lively here these past few weeks, huh? Yeah. Stop it. Why are you saying the same things as in that terrible dream? And as you get closer, like the more things that like it just lines up entirely. As you just get closer and closer to like the big moment, you just start losing your mind more and more. It was a dream. It has to be a dream. It's fun. Mayuri smiles happily, not noticing my lack of a reply. Yeah. Now that there are 8 lab mems, Mayushi thinks it's getting a little cramped in here. First, we don't have enough chairs. You should buy more. Do you have the money, Ocarine? I shake my head wordlessly. For some reason, I'm afraid to look Mayuri in the face. I guess you could use some of my salary. We need a new microwave too, otherwise I can't warm up any juicy chicken #1. Ocarine, are you okay? You don't look so good. It's nothing. Are you feeling sick? Then you need to rest. Want to lie down? You can lie on my lap, okay? Yes. Yes, definitely. No, I Take the deal. I'm not. Before I can finish, the television interrupts me with an urgent news bulletin. The subtitles read, terrorist bomb threat suspends Yamanote, Sobu, and Keihin Tohoku lines. A bomb threat? Hang on, those lines all pass through Akiba. How is Mayushi gonna get home? Oh yeah, I should call home. No, it can't be. It's the same. Every last thing, the same. Okay, Rintaro, I need to know. It was a dream. You've completed the time machine, right? It had to be a dream. But if it was a dream, then why? Are you listening? The time loop machine's done. Okay. I just remembered I've got something to do. I'm going out. Remember, she did the same thing last time. Suzuha leaves the lab without another word. What's wrong with her? Does she know what's about to happen? Nothing's going to happen. The break-in was a dream. But no matter how hard I try to convince myself of that, I can't shake the icy hand clutching my heart. I can't breathe. Even though it's hot and humid, my body shivers. I remember this feeling too from the dream. Did I choose wrong? Was I granted a second chance only to let it go to waste? A soft feeling against my fingers. I look down to see Mayuri's hand holding mine. When I look up, I see worry written in her face. I reflexively look towards the door. If the dream wasn't a dream, then any second now. It happened exactly as I remembered. 5 men burst into the lab. Their movements are swift and sure, professional, and each of them is carrying a gun. They spread out just inside the door and aimed their weapons at us. I recognize each of them. There's no denying it now. I did leap through time. It was the future I remembered. I was supposed to change this present, to stop the madness about to unfold. But I told myself that it was a dream and wasted my chance to save everyone. Hands in the air, nobody move. Silence. Time seems to grind to a halt. The men say nothing. Why didn't I do anything to change this? Wasn't that why I leapt through time? The sound of heels echoes down the hallway. A woman is coming up the stairs. Kiryu Moeka. The woman who will kill Mayuri. The dream was real. Those memories of the future. This has happened because I didn't do anything to stop it. Moeka-san? We're taking the time machine. If I kill her first, will Mayuri live? I consider the option, but soon give up. The real danger is the men behind her. The 3 of them have assault rifles. They'll gun us down the instant I try anything. My only hope is for Suzuha to make her move before Mayuri is shot. Is there even a chance? Makise Kirisu, Okabe Rintaro, Hashida Itaru, the 3 of you will come with us. You can't resist. Come with us. Where? I have no words. At least tell us where we're going. You cannot refuse. There's nowhere to run. We have men stationed throughout Akihabara. I don't want to hurt anyone. The 3 of you come with us. Why just the 3 of us? I'm not answering your questions. Come with us, it's your only choice. Moeka-san, you're a lab mem too, aren't you? In reply, Moeka pulls a gun from her belt and points it at us. It's happening again. In the anime, when this happens, you kind of believe her because you can't see it because it's, there's still images, but you can kind of tell that she's really uneasy in the situation, even Moeka herself. Our mission is to silence you. Your refusal to come will change nothing. Come with us now. If you continue to resist, I'll have to resort to extreme measures. Moeka slowly raises her gun. She points the muzzle at Shina Mayuri is not needed. Try to shout stop, but my voice catches in my throat. Nothing comes out but a pitiful wheeze. Turn to Kirisu for help. Kirisu is staring at Mayuri. She looks as if she might start crying at any second. I turn to Daru. He's shaking. His lips move as if to speak, but nothing comes out. Someone, anyone, please, stop her. Stop Moeka. Yeah, you could. They kind of did it there, but like she fucking was shaking for like a second. She's like that for the entire fucking like scenario. For CERN, for FB, for CERN, for FB. Yeah, her lips closed tightly. A sharp, dry crack splits the air. Time slows to a crawl. Wicca pulled the trigger. Blood spurts from Mayuri's forehead. It splashes across my face, wet and warm. Her delicate, frail body falls towards me. I catch her. Her body is limp like a puppet with no strings. Her head and arms dangle lifelessly. The smell of gunpowder fills my nose, and then the smell of blood. Dario clutches his head and falls to his knees, screaming at the top of his lungs. In my arms, Mayuri takes one long, ragged breath, and then... Oh, Karine. No! She's dead. Mayuri's dead again. Her face is covered in blood. Her blood stains my hands. It's warm. You three, come with us now. No more warnings. Resist, and we will kill you too. I hear a voice, but I can't comprehend what it's saying. It's the same. I knew it would be. I let Mayuri die again, because I didn't believe my own memories of the future. I lay Mayuri down on the floor. I'm sorry, Mayuri. I'm so sorry. I stand up. Rage takes hold of me once again. I'm helpless to resist. I take one menacing step towards Moeka. Okabe. Kurisu grabs my hand before I can take another. You can't. Let me go. You can't, they'll kill you. Moeka's gun is aimed at my head. Her fingers is ready on the trigger. Already on the trigger. You're gonna kill me too? You resist. Please, Okabe, do what she says, okay? Otherwise, they'll kill you too. I grit my teeth and suppress my anger. Just then, something small and round strikes Moeka's gun hand. She drops her gun. At her feet lies a small stone. Down! Next events transpire exactly as I remembered. Suzuha appears in the doorway, knocking down the first man before anyone can react. She then proceeds to dispatch the remaining men with a series of swift and precise maneuvers. What the hell? The dark-skinned man, the last one standing, takes aim at Suzuha with his assault rifle, but before he can fire, Suzuha snatches a stunned attacker's gun and shoots him. Blood spurts from the man's hand. Without stopping, Suzuha delivers a soaring roundhouse kick to the man's jaw. This is baby mode for her? Yeah, it's nothing. Enough. This is exactly how the shot looks in the anime, by the way. It's like identical. Moeka and Suzuha point their guns at each other. A standoff. Neither moves. Silence returns to the room. Who are you? 4-2. She glances at me. TV. This time I already know what she means. Turned on. Make a break for the development room. Yeah. Don't move. That's my line. Kurisu was right behind me. I grab the headgear and jam it in my head. Jam it on my head without a moment's hesitation. Okabe, I'm going back. But what if it fails? Get the machine started. There's no time to argue. I grab Mode Snake from the shelf. Kurisu bites her lip and starts setting up the X68000. Okay, Rintharo, one of them is headed your way. Kill them. Don't let them use it. Before the crew cut man enters the development room, I push the switch. White smoke instantly fills the room, rendering it impossible to see. Are you sure, Okabe? Are you really sure about this? Really? Do it, Kurisu. Activate the machine. I see blue-white light shining through the smoke. The discharge is starting. The light rapidly grows brighter. The floor begins to shake. The singularity is open. I crouch down, holding the headset steadily with one hand. This is reality. This wasn't a dream. I burned that fact into my mind as I prepared a time leap. One more chance. The shaking begins. Please, give me one more chance. Once more, the world explodes into light. Imagine working at CERN and all of a sudden the giant fucking proton collider just turns on and it was completely unauthorized. I can't hear. It feels like something is crushing my eardrums. Like you probably you like I'm pretty sure you could die if you're if you're around the proton collider or like when it's active. I could be wrong, but like the area around it, I could be very wrong. Terminator 3 could be like, you know, giving me a false sense of what the proton collider does, but because slowly the shattered pieces of the world reform. My body convulses as if struck by lightning. I am Okabe Rintaro. I'm in the lab development room, standing in the front of the time loop machine with my phone to my ear. Ugh. You think so? My brain hurts again. This isn't like a headache, it's somehow deeper. With the pain comes a torrent of emotions, sorrow, longing, hope, joy that threatens to wash away my psyche. However, only one thing matters. It worked again. I quickly returned to the lounge. You surprised me. I almost crashed into Kurisu. Don't startle me like that. Daru, is it just before 5 on the 13th? Yeah. Alright, time leap successful. I pat Kurisu on the shoulders, almost an embrace. You're a genius. What's gotten into you? Stop manhandling me, it's gross. I scramble for my phone. Through. Mayushi here. Mayuri, where are... But I can't answer the phone right now. I went to voicemail? Please leave a message after the beep. Mayuri, contact me at once, okay? At once. I hang up. I look at my watch again. It's just past 5. Thank God for the time loop machine. Makes me shiver to imagine what would have happened without it. I have 3 hours until Moeka kills Mayuri. Everything is going to be okay. That's plenty of time to escape. First, I'll meet up with Mayuri and leave Akiba. We can go to Akibukuro. Wait, what if they're watching her house? Maybe we should hop the bullet train and get out of Tokyo entirely. Anyway, we're fine as long as Moeka doesn't find her way here today. Find her today. So first, I need to find Mayuri. Okabe, you look kind of crazy. What's wrong? Kurisu and Daru look at me with concern. Both of you get out of here, now. What's this about? I check my wallet. I only have 9,000 yen and some change. I need to stop at the ATM and withdraw everything I have. Is this another one of your fantasies? Kurisu shrugs her shoulders dumbfounded. I don't have time to answer her. I slip beside her and dash out of the lab. Okay, where are you going? Hey! I run full speed to Yanabayashi Shrine. Naturally, I had to stop for breath before I could get more than a few blocks. The sun is setting, but the temperature still hasn't dropped below 30. Sweat quickly covers my entire body. I'm not good at exercise in the first place. I finally staggered through the archway. Now I regret not borrowing Suzuha's bicycle. But no, there wasn't time for that. Finding Mayuri comes first. I run to the courtyard where I find Lukako standing alone with her bamboo broom. Lukako. Okabe-san. She bows her head. What's wrong? Mayuri, where is she? Mayuri-chan already left. She left? Yeah. When you see her, could you tell her that I'm sorry? I'd prefer not to cosplay. I don't want to disappoint her, but it's too embarrassing to dress like that in front of people. I finally catch my breath. I don't have time to listen to Lukako's apologies. Mayuri went back to the lab? I think so. That doesn't make sense. I know she comes to the lab around 6:30. Still 5:30. No matter how slow you walk, it shouldn't take more than 20 minutes to get to the lab. So what was she doing for the extra 40 minutes? We don't have time for this. She didn't say where she was dropping. She didn't say she was dropping by somewhere. No, I didn't ask. Is something wrong? If Mayuri comes back here, tell her to call me right away. Okay. I better check the lab. We might have missed each other. When I get back to the lab, nobody's there but Daru. Did Kurisu go shopping by herself? I call out to him as he's ordering pizza on the computer. Where's Mayuri? Did she come back? Huh? No. Where is she? Take a bottle of Dr. P out of the fridge and chug it down. The cold, sparkling liquid wets my parched throat and drives the heat away. Now I can think, but I still can't relax. Every minute, every second is precious. Each moment I waste brings me closer to Mayuri's death. Hey, Ocarina, why are you so jumpy? I need to find Mayuri. Isn't she at Lukashi's? Not anymore. She was gone by the time I got there. Start to pace in irritation. Maybe she went to see one of her cosplay friends. Ooh, what's her phone number? How should I know? Damn, it's easy to forget since she's usually here, but Mayuri and I rarely spend time outside of the lab. May Queen and the shrine, that's about it. I have no idea where else she might go. May Queen doesn't even exist on this world line. Now that you mention it, do you know something? I think she said that her phone was about to run out of power. She had to turn it off. Yet another setback. Not only am I unable to contact her, she might not even notice my phone calls. Hey, what's going on? Why are you still here, Daru? I thought I told you to leave. I sit on the sofa. I feel the weight of stress on my shoulders and in my bones. I'm not leaving without a good reason. Tell me what's going on, man. They're going to kill Mayuri. What? CERN is after us. In 2 hours, their men will break in and kill Mayuri. Get out while you still can. What, for real? Can you get in touch with Kurisu? Pass the message on to her. In 2 hours? How do you know that? Daru pauses for a moment. He looks towards the development room where the time machine is sitting. No, you used it? I nod gravely. I kick Daru out of the lab and send him home. He promised to call Kurisu for me and tell her to stay at her hotel, but a few minutes later she calls me directly and demands the explanation. It takes some effort, but I manage to convince her to do as I say. Now I need to wait for Mayuri to get back. I thought about looking for her, but it's too risky. We could miss each other like we did at the shrine. Better to wait here in front of the building. While waiting, I try to convince myself that everything will be okay. Mayuri returns to the lab at 6:30. That leaves about an hour before Moeka's attack. In an hour, we could ride the bullet train from Tokyo Station to Shizuoka. Is that the best plan? Maybe we should get off at Yokohama and lay low in a hotel for a while. I could think about that. I can think about what comes next after Mayuri's safe. The time machine doesn't matter. Moeka can have it. My top priority is to prevent Mayuri's death. Sweat accumulates on my forehead and rolls down my face. Hurry back, Mayuri. Huh? Startled, I turn towards the voice. Suha and Master Braun have emerged from the Braun Tube workshop. I see them lock the door. Guess they're closing up shop. That's right, I forgot about Suzuha. What are you doing here, Okabe Rintaro? Nothing. That reminds me. During the attack, she took down 5 armed commandos in the blink of an eye. I still can't believe it. Where does an 18-year-old girl learn to move like that? And then there was her strange behavior immediately before the attack. She left as soon as she heard about the bomb threat, almost as if she knew something was going to happen. At this point, if you haven't put it together, then I don't know. I don't know how to help you. And finally, there's that business with her father. Everything about her is a mystery. Who is Amane Suzuha? Oh, I know. You're getting ready for that party tonight, aren't you? How do you know we're having a party? Shina Mayuri. She came by earlier today to invite me over. Hope you've got room for one more, cause you can't. Am I a bother? No. It's okay, I understand. I guess I'm still an outsider. That's not it. What's wrong with you, Okabe? My part-timer joined your little club. You owe her, remember? Oh, hang on. Thanks to her belly that I let you off the... Thanks to her belly... It's thanks to her belly that I let you off the hook for shaking the building last time. Yeah, she's got a pretty solid midriff. I wouldn't complain. My belly? Hey. Suzuha has recovered her jacket. She's properly dressed now. She's got a fine belly. Tight and well-trained. Okay, this is sexual harassment. I'm standing right here, you dirty old man. The party is canceled. I'm sorry, part-time warrior, but please go home today. Canceled? Yeah, sorry. I attempt to smile, but with little hope of success. I don't know what's going on, okay, but don't do anything reckless. Huh? It's weird to have him give me advice. I thought he was just a dirty old man who loves CRTs. Maybe he's sharper than I thought? Or maybe he's just telling me to stop shaking the building. I got in a fight with Mayuri. Things are a little complicated right now, that's all. That's the best lie I can manage. Oh, is there gonna be blood? Blood? I mean, look over there. Suzuha points across the street. I turn to look. To my surprise, there's Mayuri walking up the street with a big bag. When she notices us, she waves her hand with a ditzy smile. Mayuri! Huh? Weren't you fighting? She looks really happy to see you. I ignore Suzuha and run to Mayuri. The clock on my phone says 6:33. Hey, where are you going? I wasted precious time talking to Suzuha. Now that I secured Mayuri, I need to get as far away from Akiba as we can. What's the rush, Okarin? I ignore her question and grab her hand. Run to the station. Wait, my bag. Forget it, just run. Eh? Why? Just run. I can't get the image of Mayuri's death out of my mind. I won't let them kill her, I won't. Mayuri gives no further resistance. She follows obediently, quickly matching my pace. I forget that she's faster on her feet than I am. Hey, where are we going? First we need to head for Tsubaka or Yokohama. Tsukuba, whatever the fuck that said. I'm already gasping for air. Mayuri, however, might as well be strolling along for all the difficulty she's having. How can she be so ditzy yet so athletic at the same time? Angry Mayuri isn't real. It can't hurt you. The sun has already set, but the sky is still a mix of indigo and orange. We run through the streets lit by dazzling shops. Everything will be fine once we make it to the train. I hold this thought in my mind as we run. I'm already exhausted. Mayuri practically has to drag me along to keep going. Should we rest a bit? No stopping until we're on the train. I do my best to keep up the pace. But Okarin, you're covered in sweat. You shouldn't push yourself. You're not good at exercise. When we reach the station, I realize that something is wrong. The station is packed, like seriously packed. You don't see this many people even at rush hour. The crowd is milling around the entrance. For some reason, it looks like no one is going in. What's going on here? A protest? Some kind of street performance? I don't have time for this. Just then, an announcement plays over the PA. Your attention, please. Yamanote, Keihitohoku, and Subu lines are currently suspended. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience and kindly ask for your cooperation. I finally realized my mistake. That's right, before the attack, the trains were stopped by a bomb threat. No wonder there are so many people standing around. In my haste to flee the city, I completely forgot. How could I have been so stupid? I wonder what happened. All of the train lines are stopped. We can't escape Akiba. What about other means of public transportation? The subway or the bus? Should we go to another station? I turn around and head back to the way we came, keeping a firm grip on Mayuri's hand. But before we get more than a few steps, a man steps out of the crowd and blocks our way. I realize that we're surrounded. Okabe Rintaro? A low voice. A face I've never seen. He's not one of the 5 who broke into the lab. Okarin, do you know these people? Mary grips my arm tightly as she looks anxiously at the men. Come with us. Who are you? Instead of answering, the man makes a grab for my arm. I jerk away and try to escape, but the men move to block us again. If you resist, we'll kill you. CERN? They're with Moeka. She must have planned this for... She must have planned for this in advance. A chill runs up my spine. We made a terrible mistake when we hacked into CERN. I realize that now, though it's far too late. Are you going to kill us with all these witnesses around? This isn't a game. I feel something cold against my back. I don't realize what it is at first. Then it hits me. A gun. I gulp. My blood goes cold. Am I going to die here? Will my time looping be for naught? I can't give up. I won't let Mayuri die. I won't accept that future. But how do I get out of this? The crowd at the station was growing even thicker. People are starting to argue with the station personnel, demanding to know when they can go home. The situation is quickly becoming chaotic. Suddenly a fight breaks out nearby. It looks like some people are trying to shove their way through. This could be our chance. A tide of people surges into us, knocking the man behind me off balance. Now! I quickly turn and strike the man's hand aside. His gun falls away. Then the man gets swallowed up by the crowd. Which would definitely happen in Japan. I've seen some shit online just of how fucking crazy the crowds are around subways. Run, Mayuri. I grab Mayuri's hand and start running. We have to fight our way through the crowd, but that's also thwarts our pursuers. As soon as we reach the main street, we start running back towards the lab. Of course, we can't return to the lab itself. Moeka's group will be there shortly. But is the subway still running? If we get on the Suihicho station, we can take the Ginza line to Shibuya. From there, we can grab a train heading out for Tokyo. I still haven't recovered from my exhaustion. I don't know how much longer I can hold on. We can't stop now. I have to keep running. It doesn't take long before a new obstacle appears. 4 men walking together up ahead suddenly stop and turn to face us. I've got a bad feeling about this. They don't look like otaku. Are they with CERN too? My fears are confirmed when the 4 men start walking towards us, arms spread to block the street. No doubt about it, they're after us too. I turn to flee back towards the station, and there I see the first group of men closing in behind us. We're trapped, enemies on both sides. There's only one choice. I grab Mayuri and make for the nearby side street. Where are you going, Ocarine? I'm trying to get to Suihicho station without using the main streets. But as we pass UPX, several men on the bridge point at us and shout something. Are they with CERN too? How many men do they have? We turn back and change course. Okay, Mayuri, you're the fastest. You're a faster runner, so talking while running uses up all my breath. Sweat drips into my eyes, making it hard to see. You go on ahead. Go to Hariti Shrine or Ekibukuro. We'll meet. Before I finish, I catch sight of another group of men waiting for us up ahead. What's going on, Ocarine? I look back. The group before is chasing us. We're surrounded by enemies. The familiar streets of Akiba are filled with agents of CERN. I recall what Moeka said. You have nowhere to run. We have men stationed throughout Akiba. Despair seizes my heart. Is escape impossible? We're just kids playing at science in the safety of our tiny little lab. Our enemy is a multinational conspiracy willing to kill anyone who gets in their way. Were we doomed from the start? No. No matter what, we must get away. Leading Mayuri by the hand, I push my way through the crowd and then jump the fence onto the road. Something strikes me with crushing force, sending me tumbling across the pavement. I come to a stop several meters away. My body is racked with intense pain. A red curtain covers my eyes. I try to brush it off, and my hand comes away slick with blood. I grit my teeth against the pain and lift my head. Mayuri is lying on the pavement a few meters away. I reach out to her. Mayuri. No response. Mayuri is motionless. No. Did the impact kill her? Mayuri, this can't be happening. The car that ran us over, a white van, pulls up. The door opens and out steps Stop them. Kiryu Moeka. Her again. She knew the exact moment to be here in order to run over poor Mayuri. I've secured Okabe-kun. Okabe Rintaro. You see? She's talking to someone on her phone. Has she been tracking us this whole time? Contact the police. Shina Mayuri is dead. She looks down at me with eyes cold enough to freeze my blood. Why? Why did you kill her? Because you ran. You monster. Muster my strength, I leap up and throw myself at Moeka. She goes down hard. I hear her head smack against the pavement. I stand up and look around. Moeka is dazed and unable to stand, but I hear certain agents making their way towards us through the crowd. Gotta get out of here. I take a step, a sharp pain stabs through my body. The crash must have broken a bone in my leg. It doesn't matter, I have to get to the lab and time leap again. That's the only way to save Mayuri. I look back at the site of the accident. Moeka is slowly regaining her feet, but Mayuri remains limp and motionless on the road. It breaks my heart to leave Mayuri lying there, but I have no choice. I have to go. Back to the lab. Fighting the pain of my broken leg, I managed to drag myself back to the lab. Surprisingly, CERN's men didn't chase me. Nobody's at the lab when I arrive. Only the lights are still on. Relieved that Kurisu and Daru haven't returned, I head straight to the development room. I remember to break it into the Bronto workshop to turn on the 42-inch CRT. My body is drenched in sweat and I can't stop shivering. Everything hurts, especially my right side where the car hit me. And if I'm not careful, I might lose consciousness. My vision is blurry, it's hard to focus. My left arm is numb and I can barely move. But still, I force myself to activate the X68000 and input the settings. I'm gasping for breath like a wounded animal. The sound of my heartbeat fills my ears. Mayuri. They killed her again. I failed to protect her. I'm sorry, Mayuri, I'm sorry. Choking back my tears, I frantically pound on the keyboard. Police sirens echo in the distance. Moeka hit Mayuri in front of hundreds of witnesses. They'll probably take her in for questioning. Even if CERN bails her out somehow, she should be stuck for at least a couple of hours. Real problem is her men. Those mercenaries, or whatever they were, CERN's hit squad. Why did they come after me? Why didn't they come after me? It should have been easy for them to catch me, injured as I am. I need to hurry. If they showed up here, then they'll kill me for sure. Settings complete. I put on the headgear. I'll get blood on it, but that doesn't matter. A surge of anxiety washes over me. What if the time loop fails? What if my memories are corrupted? I might forget who I am. I might lose myself. Should I really use the machine? Of course I should. I curse my weakness. Mayuri's dead, remember? This can't be allowed to happen. No risk is too great. I will save Mayuri whatever it takes. I alone have the power to change the past. What am I waiting for? I swallow my fear. I activate the time loop machine. You're going back again. Screeching in my ears, needles stabbing into my brain, a thousand emotions flooding my senses. The world bends, pulses, then returns to normal. The pain of my wounds has vanished like magic, replaced by a piercing pain in my brain. I fight back a wave of nausea and take stock of the situation. I'm sitting on the sofa, my phone to my ear. Another successful time leap, that makes 3. Looks like the time machine works perfectly. I'm sure it would boost Kurisu's confidence if I told her. But that would have to wait until Mayuri's out of danger. I stand up and look around the lab. Where's Mayuri? What? Kurisu, who was dozing off next to me, wakes up with a jerk at the sound of my voice. Don't shout. I've been working all night, so let me rest a bit. Where's Mayuri? What's wrong with you? She went to Lukashi's, remember? Damn, she already left? Should call or send an email. I need to get in touch with her somehow. I already went to see someone after leaving the shrine. The question is who? Think. Consider every possibility. Damn, did I forget? Before I time leaped, I should have asked Mayuri where she was today. I'm not thinking straight. I have to calm down. Wait, I know. Last time we failed because we went to Akiba Station. I should have known that CERN would be watching. This time we'll take a taxi to another station, then hide somewhere until things calm down. For now, all I can do is wait for Mayuri to return. It's driving me crazy. I considered explaining the situation to Kurisu and Daru, but I just don't have the strength to do that right now. Besides, I don't want to get them involved. I'll take care of it myself. I won't let any more of my friends die. As before, the Braun Tube workshop closes early. Mayuri appears as Susaha and Mr. Braun are leaving. We run through Kanda Myojin's back streets to why the fucking words are ridiculous, taking only minimal precautions to avoid attracting attention. We have to get there before the Sobu line shuts down. We manage to make it to the station without being stopped, but when we get there, I see a group of men waiting by the entrance. They look like CERN. Change of plans. We turn around and head for the Shin Mizu subway station. Fucking Christ. We arrive at the station later than I had intended. I don't usually come here, so I got lost. I stared nervously at the platform clock. According to the scrolling display at Yamanote, Keihin, Tohoku, and Subu lines have already suspended operations. Wait, it looks like the Chiyoda line has too. It must be a protocol to assume that nearby stations may be threatened, even stations on unconnected lines. Damn. Mary hasn't said a word about my strange behavior. This is the third time I've led her on this escape, but each time she follows me without complaint. Does she really trust me that much? Maybe she can feel my desperation. That's why I want so badly to save her. We've been together for more than a decade. She's like a little sister to me. I'll leap as many times as it takes. Mary tilts her head quizzically. I realize that I'm staring at her. Ocarine, maybe she has a lot of questions, but she'll wait for now. But once it's over, I want you to tell me everything, okay? Yeah, I promise. Mary smiles happily at that answer. That's right. While we wait for the train, I should ask Mayuri about her whereabouts today. If I have the time again, I'll need all the information I can get. Where did you go after you saw Lukako? I got an email from Fubuki-chan. A thread came loose on her costume. I went to fix it. Where does Fubuki-chan live? We met at Starbucks at UPX. So that's where she was. Just then, an announcement plays over the PA system. That's really smart, by the way. Just be like, okay, we got free time? Where the fuck were you? The subway is resuming normal operations. About 20 minutes have passed since we arrived. I didn't expect to be stuck here that long, but it's okay. Right now, Moeka should still be in Akihabara, heading to the lab. Everything is going to be alright. While waiting for the train, I examined the route map on the station's notice board. We can transfer to an overland train at Yoyogi Uehara. It'll take a while, but that will take us all the way to Odawara. Another announcement. Our train is arriving. She just like driving, she just turns around and tips her hat. Her conductor hat. I can hear the rumbling of this and see the light on at the end of the tunnel. Barry and I are standing just behind the white line. I reach for her hand, meaning to make a dash for the train when the doors open, but I guess there's no hurry now. Let my hand fall to my side, empty. The rower comes closer. About the party tonight, Mayuri is saying something, but I can't quite hear her over the train. It got canceled, but we should definitely... Mayuri! Suddenly, Mayuri disappears. Huh? There she is, leaning over the tracks. She's off balance as if she stumbled, and someone pushed her. She seems to hang in there for a moment, and then the train comes screaming into the station. I hear a sound from under the train. I can't describe it, but it makes me instantly nauseous. Sparks fly as the train slams on its brakes. People on the platform scream. I turned to where Mayuri was just a moment ago. There stands a familiar girl. Tiny, adorable, a cute black rabbit pouch slung over her shoulder. Inuju Nae. She looks up at me. Her eyes are wide. Her lips tremble. I saw Mayuri. I wanted to surprise her. It wasn't on purpose. It wasn't. She stares at me for a few more seconds, as if waiting for me to say something, then turns and runs away. The platform is in chaos. The PA informs us that there's been a personal injury accident. Nae is already gone. I don't go after her. Instead, I peek timidly through the gap between the train and the platform. One side of the track is a wash of red. My mind is blank. I can't think. I don't even remember how I got back to the lab. Micah's group should have come and gone, but the time leap machine is still here. I guess I should be grateful. Takes longer than usual to set the machine. For some reason, I have trouble recalling my own phone number. At last, it's ready. Now take me back. Yeah. Or don't let go of Mayuri's hand like he did. The leap occurs instantaneously. Titor claimed that his time travel machine takes 1 hour of subjective time to travel 10 years. I don't know if ours has the same behavior, but now is not the time to find out. 10 years. I have no business that far back. Besides, according to Kurisu, time leaping too far into the past could cause mental disorders due to the gap between personality and memory. Juicy chicken number 1. Mayuri is singing her chicken song, though she's actually eating pre-cooked chicken from the convenience store instead of her usual juicy chicken number 1. She had to switch because she can't warm up frozen chicken in the microwave, which is now a dedicated part of the time loop machine. I was right to come back 5 hours. Mayuri is still in the lab. But what the hell happened back there? It hurts, but I force myself to recall that horrifying scene. Mayuri died again. This time it happened at Shin Ojunomizu Station, a place completely unrelated to the lab or the bomb threat. Inoju Nae pushed her onto the tracks, where the train tore her to shreds. Could Nae be working for CERN too? No, that can't be right. Nae has a habit of jumping on Mayuri and greeting. She was probably just being her usual affectionate self. But why did she choose that precise moment? I don't know. I sense malice. Whose malice? It's like fate is playing a cruel joke on us. Whatever the case, all that matters now is that I have another chance. I need to act. I have the power to save Mayuri. I will do whatever it takes to find a way. This time, we hail a taxi to Chudori. It'll be expensive, but that hardly matters now. Mayuri comes along quietly. I consider taking her to Aikibukuro, but Moeka's group might be watching her house. I have no idea where they are at this point in time. Instead, I ask the driver to take us to Shingawa. However, the traffic is unusually heavy. The driver says it's never been this bad before. There must have been an obstruction up ahead, an accident or something. That's the only explanation I can think of. We've made it out to that'd be too much. We made it out of Akiba, but at this rate, it will take forever to reach Shingawa. I considered getting off here and taking the train, but then I remember what happened at Okonomizu Station. I have a bad feeling about this. The traffic jam could be CERN's doing. I look out the window and scan the crowd for anyone who might be a CERN agent. 3 hours later, we're still stuck. According to a conversation I overheard between our driver and another driver, there's some kind of inspection up ahead. Furthermore, it doesn't seem to be a police inspection or a small fight broke out at the intersection site or something. To make matters worse, this road has already been closed off, and all the cars behind us are being detoured. There are only about 100 cars waiting, but the inspection has been at a standstill for 3 hours. This can't be a coincidence. Once again, I feel the malice of fate manipulating the situation. Is Mayuri going to die again? If I had known it was going to turn out like this, I'd have ditched the taxi hours ago. It's not too late. I should pay the driver and get out, right? Just then, someone knocks on the window. Our taxi is stopped in the middle of the road. What's going on? I look over. Before I can say anything, a man opens the rear door and gets next to Mayuri. He's holding a knife. Another assassin. Mayuri, look out. Before she can reply, the man covers Mayuri's mouth with a large, meaty hand. I try to open my door, but it's locked. Only the driver can open it from the inside. But Mayuri opens her eyes wide. Her body twitches. What? It all happened too fast. The man sticks his knife into Mayuri's chest. A bright red spot stains her clothes. What? Be quiet, Okabe Rintaro. The man gets into the passenger seat. He points a gun at the driver and says something to him. Strength drains from Mayuri's body. Her eyes slowly close. A tear rolls down her cheek. I watch her die inches away, powerless to stop it. I can feel her last breath against my skin. They killed her again. Why? Why? Why can't I save her? Why won't you let me save her? Who decided that Mayuri must die? Moeka? CERN? Or does the world itself wish for Mayuri's death? I won't accept that. I clench my jaw and throw myself forward, driving my head forward into the killer's nose. He falls back. I shout at the driver. Open the door. I crawl out of the taxi and take off running through the traffic jam. After running for hours, I make it back to the lab. Luckily, Luckily, the time leap machine is still there. I have to leap again. Every time we run, Mayuri dies. 6 hours into the past, I clutch my head and rack my brain for an answer. I feel like I've hit a dead end. What do I do if we can't run away? Is there no way to save her? No, there has to be a way. What you talking about? Mayuri's blank stare is the only answer I get. This time, I take her to the closest police station and beg them to protect her. When asked why, I explain that someone is going to kill Mayuri 6 hours from now, but without any proof that there's someone after her, they have no choice but to turn us away. It's past 6 by the time we leave the station, and we're left with no choice but to keep running. I wish I could blame my previous failures on bad luck. We could try Okanomizu or Shinbashi again, and maybe this time she won't die, but I don't have the courage to try those routes again. At the same time, we can't stay in Akiba. We're running out of options. Subways, trains, taxis, all out. Attempting escape by those means will get Mayuri killed, so my heart tells me perhaps the fear is irrational, but I can't put it out of my mind. I've seen her die about half a dozen times already, shot, stabbed, torn to pieces. I can't go through that again. We take refuge in Yodobashi Camera. I thought we could keep hiding there indefinitely, but just after 7, we hear an explosion in front of the station. Yodobashi goes into chaos. Policemen appear and start evacuating the store. When I try to explain our situation, the officer shouts terrorist and pulls his gun. This can't be happening. This isn't America. Fuck off. Japanese police officers don't shoot without provocation. Well, technically they're not supposed to in America either, but... Mayuri dies. It happens so fast. The policeman shoots her right in the head. I don't know if he was a real policeman or a CERN assassin in disguise. It doesn't matter. I can't deny it any longer. The world itself is killing Mayuri. Yeah, but I don't think that's protocol. This time I don't leap into immediate action. Instead, I sit on the couch and collect my thoughts. Every time I try to save Mayuri, it ends in the worst possible way. To make matters worse, I no longer even know what I'm supposed to be saving her from. Cause and effect. Why does Mayuri die? At first, I thought that it was Moeka and her hit squad sent by CERN to steal our time machine. But as I leapt back in time again and again, the cause of Mayuri's death kept changing. At Okonomizu Station, she died because Nae pushed her off the platform. CERN had nothing to do with that. It was an accident. Each time I leapt, she dies a different way. What does that mean? I've been thinking for an hour and I'm no closer to an answer. I want someone to tell me, but who can I ask? I'm the only person in history to leap through time. No, there's one more, John Titor, but he's not replying to my emails anymore and he hasn't posted an @channel in days. I'm not even convinced he's a real time traveler. I decide not to rush this time. Instead, I take a different approach. Strike first. I send Moeka an email. I need to talk to you about our time machine. Meet me alone. I designate the roof of Radakan as our meeting place. 2 weeks have passed since the satellite crash, but it's still there and the building's still closed. At least the security has lessened, so it's easy for me to sneak in. Not that there's any sneaking to do, I just walk in through the front door like I belong there. No one questions me. Last time I came here was for Dr. Nakabachi's presentation. Of course, on this world line, the presentation was cancelled. Naturally, there's nobody here but me. It occurs to me that this is a dangerous gambit. Moeka might have a gun, and I already know that she's willing to use it. But then I don't intend to play fair either. We're supposed to meet at 5:30, it's just after 5. I came early in order to ambush. I hide in the shadows and wait with bated breath. About 30 minutes later, I hear the door open. Moeka makes her entrance alone. She looks around relentlessly. She still hasn't noticed me. I take a gun out of my shirt. It's not real. Okay, I'm trying to remember. I'm like, wait a minute. It's Future Gadget number 1, the Bit Particle Gun. It's just a toy ray gun with a remote control attached. Obviously a bluff, but all I could prepare at such short notice. I run up behind Moeka and shove the Bit Particle Gun into her back. Don't move. Hands up. Just like in a Hollywood movie. But this isn't a movie, this is real. And she isn't an actress, she's a murderer. After Moeka raises her hands, I feel through her clothes. Sure enough, she's carrying a gun. I take it from her and press it into Moeka's back in place of the particle gun. Sorry to disappoint you. It's the first gun was a toy. Talk, I know you were sent by CERN. How? How? You want to know how? My frustration and rage boiling over. Because of her. Because of her, my Yuri. I came from the future, that's how. You think I'm lying? I've repeated the last several hours half a dozen times already. I've lost count of how many times exactly. And I haven't slept at all the entire time. Strangely, I'm not tired at all. I know what you're planning. Around 7, you're going to stop the trains. Moeka gasps. So it was their doing. I also know that you're planning to attack the lab, you and your men. Then you're going to kill Mayuri. I understand. I'm a time leaper. Moeka nods faintly. I could kill her now. It would be easy. But no, I need information. Who are you people? Rounders. Moeka answers with surprising obedience. I guess she values her own life, even though she has no problem depriving other people of theirs. Rounders? What does that mean? How are you related to CERN? By email. No, speak. The Rounders are an organization separate from CERN. Covert operations. We don't exist. Like a private army? No. Our mission is to find and acquire IBN 5100s. They send us all around the world. We collect them. IBN 5100s. That's right. When I met her, she was looking for one. These days, they're nearly impossible to find. People will pay millions just to own one. And yeah, I remember they were saying that, like, as soon as one... I think they said something like, as soon as one pops up, it's gone immediately or some shit. Like, it says something about, like, it looks like someone was, like that someone or something was just taking all of them. They mentioned that. Is that because CERN has been hunting them down? How many Rounders are there? Answer me. I don't know. I'm just an agent. She's not important enough to be told. Was it you who stole our IBM 5100? Moeka doesn't answer. Why does CERN need IBM 5100s? To keep hackers out? Maintaining secrecy is the highest priority for CERN. What are they hiding? We already know they've killed hundreds of test subjects with their time travel experiments. We didn't need an IBM 5100 to find that out. Are you saying the IBM 5100 database has information more sensitive than that? I don't know. Because you're just an agent. My tone is sarcastic, but Moeka nods. Damn, she's useless. Why did you attack the lab? Or rather, why will you attack the lab? Isn't it obvious? Because we hacked into CERN. 3 reasons. First, because of what you know. We were ordered to silence you, so CERN did know about the hacking. Second, for the time machine. The one you made. They want our time machine. CERN must be trying to monopolize time travel technology. Third, the reason it happens today. You plan to make your time machine public. How does she know that? We made that decision right after the time leap was completed. That was only a few hours ago. That's why I was ordered to take you in. Take us in? You killed Mayuri. She is unnecessary. Unnecessary? I nearly pulled the trigger. Okabe, Makise, Hashida, you made the time machine. She is expendable. Those are my orders. And after you take us in, what then? CERN will hold you prisoner, force you to complete their time travel research. Have you done this before? How many lives have you ruined for CERN's research? I do as I'm told. I was a fool to consider you my friend. I live for CERN. I live for FB. I'll do anything if FB tells me to. FB? Is that what the name... Is that the name of her supervisor? Okabe-kun. Is it you? Are you John Titer? What? John Titer? There's no one else it could be. Me? I don't have time for this. I dig the gun into Moeka's back. If you want to live, you'll call your friends. Call FB. Cancel the attack. Moeka shakes her head. I don't have the authority. I don't care. Find some way to stop the attack. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Can't do it. I'm not a killer. My hands are trembling just like Moeka's were before she shot Mayuri. Why? Why did you kill her? She was hesitating. She didn't want to pull the trigger, but she did. You didn't want to kill her, did you? So why? I just obey. FB. Then bring that son of a bitch here. Moeka shakes her head again. I don't care about your authority. If you don't do what I say, I can't. I've never... Something hard stabs into my back. A chill runs through my body. There's someone behind me. Drop the gun. A man's voice. Is he with Moeka? You lied, Kiri Moeka. What'd your napkin do? I'm ready to pull the trigger in a cold blood. You promised to meet alone. Moeka doesn't answer. I said drop the gun. I'll give you the time machine, just don't kill anyone. I don't get it. Even if you do that, even though I'm still pointing the gun at her, Moeka steps away and turns to face me. Your Moeka fell... Your napkin fell on the floor. But what does 9 o'clock to 9:09 mean? Her eyes are cold, her expression unreadable. You'll still be held prisoner. Forever. Moeka takes the gun from my hand. I'm unable to resist. Please. Sorry about the hacking, just please don't kill anyone. Something strikes the back of my head. My legs give out instantly, sending me to the ground. Darkness creeps in. Target B in custody, requesting pickup. Deep down I knew I can't save Mayuri. Even if Moeka's group doesn't kill her, someone or something else will. I don't understand Tokyo. The world itself wants her dead. That is the choice of Steins Gate. Steins Gate? There's no such thing. Those words have no meaning. Just some nonsense I made up to sound cool. Steins Gate doesn't exist, but fate does. Fate, God, the will of the universe, an absolute force that no one can resist. Oh, well, I think you can still use it. It exists, and it was sentenced to, and it has sentenced Mayuri to death. I wake up in the back of a station wagon. The windows are coated with black film, so I can't tell where we are. I feel a throbbing pain in the back of my head. My hands are tied behind me. What time is it? How long have I been unconscious? There's a man with me inside the car. I recognize him from a previous time leap. He's the one who stabbed Mayuri in the taxi. Yeah, no, it's cool. He just like, fuck it, this is just bullshit I came up with. The man seems to notice I've woken up, but he doesn't speak. He just waves his gun menacingly, as if to say that there's no hope of escape. The dashboard clock reads 7:30. I look out the window again. Through the film, I manage to make out a street sign. We're close to the lab. Has the attack already happened? Before I left, I told everyone, including Mayuri, to run. If she did as I said, she would die. She won't die by their hands, but that doesn't mean she's safe. If I don't do something, Moeka's going to take the time machine away. What will happen then? CERN can have the machine if it'll save Mayuri. The problem is that it won't, not when the world itself is determined to kill her. As long as the time machine remains in my hands, I can't keep trying to fix things. I'll leap again and again until I find a way to save her. But if I lose the machine, then the future is decided. A future without Mayuri. I have to get to it before they do, even if that means I might get shot. As long as I can survive to reach the time loop machine, everything will be alright. He's screaming. My bound hands limit me to headbutts and kicks, but I somehow manage to knock down the man guarding me and escape. My chest and neck are covered with blood. I must have been shot during the struggle, but thanks to the adrenaline pumping through my body, I barely feel any pain. I can still move. That's all that matters. I run up into the stairs with my hands still tied. I can only pray that I'll be able to operate the time machine quickly enough. Mayuri, Kurisu, and Daru are in the lab. So are Moeka and her men. When I open the door and burst in, everyone looks at me in surprise. Ocarine. When she sees my tattered body, Mayuri runs up to me with tears in her eyes. Wait! I try to stop her. In the corner of my eye, I see Moeka take aim at Mayuri. I try to put myself between them, try to cover Mayuri with my body, but a man grabs me from behind and pulls me back. I watch helplessly as Mayuri's tiny body drops to the floor. Her eyes, wide and wet with tears, seems to stare into mine. But I can see that they have already lost their light. She's gone. Again. 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 What happens next is the same as before. Suzuha defeats the Rounders, and Kurisu helps me time leap. The flood of sound beats on my eardrums. When it subsides, I find myself again in the lab. Sure, it's just before 5. I have 2.5 hours before Mayuri dies. I find myself staring at the time leap machine. This thing is the reason for Moeka's attack. If only we had never built the phone wave, if only we had never sent those D-mails, perhaps the future might be different instead of the nightmare it promises now. Would anything change if I broke it, just smashed it to pieces right here? In a rush of delirium, I grab a chair and lift it high over my head. Just as I'm about to bring it crashing down on this infernal machine, a voice cries out. Stop, Okabe, what are you doing? Kurisu grabs my arm and pulls me back. Are you trying to break the machine? You don't have to break it, Okabe. We already decided not to experiment, remember? Anyway, put the chair down. I lower the chair slowly. Not because Kurisu told me to, but because I realized that what would happen if I really did break the machine. It's because it caused or will cause Mayuri's death, but at the same time, it is also my only chance of averting that future. If I lose it, I lose my only hope of saving her. The fear of that outcome stayed my mind. You look pale, what's wrong? Are you listening? I can't deal with this, not now. Wait, I flee from the lab. I don't have a particular destination in mind. People look at me strangely as I shuffle down the street. I imagine I must look like I crawled up from the grave. Soon I get fed up with the crowd around the station and escape to the pedestrian overpass. I get about halfway across the bridge and squat down on the concrete. The giant screen on the UPX building is advertising some gothic punk band. The ticker at the bottom displays today's weather forecast along with the date and time. I realize that today is Friday the 13th. There's no way to get through today without Mayuri dying. It's already 5:30, 2 hours until the attack. The light around the Akihabara station turned on one by one as the sun sets. The moe might be gone from Akiba, but the area around the station is still as posh as ever. I don't belong here. The bridge I'm sitting on has become a date spot for couples. I see them standing here and there, gazing at the city space with their arms around each other. Somehow they never seem to tire of the dull, unchanging scenery. What am I doing here? Mary's about to die. Hey, don't you think you're a little old to be sitting on the ground in public? I lift my head and see Kurisu standing there. So this is where you went. I've been looking for you. Christina? What? What time is it now? 5:38. Hey, if you have time to sit around, then you can help me with the shopping. Shopping? Oh, right. Preparations for the party. In the original timeline, I went shopping with Kurisu at the UPX supermarket. And then we talked about this bridge just like now. Talked about this bridge, my bad. It feels like so long ago. Back then I had no idea what was about to happen. Well, are you going to come along or not? I sighed deeply. I don't believe that it was wrong to time leap. However, Kurisu, I keep my eyes lowered. That's the first time you said my name properly. What do you mean, Ohio? You already know. I'm kidding. I know what you mean. Yes, that'd be a good idea. I feel her eyes on me. Help me. I can't save Mayuri alone. I realize that now. Reliving today and again, only to taste the same despair each time, has taught me one important lesson. Alone, I am powerless. Alone, I have no hope. Help me. Tell me what happened. I know you used the time leap machine. What? Look up in surprise. Chris doesn't meet my stare. Instead, she leans on the guardrail and gazes down at the plaza with her usual frown. You get a phone call and suddenly you're like a different person. It was obvious. I came from 3 hours in the future. What happened? They killed Mayuri. I lower my head, trying to hold back the tears. Then I explain about CERN and Moeka, and about how Kurisu herself activated the time leap machine and made this possible. I tell her about my previous leaps. I explain that the world itself wants Mayuri dead, and that I can't save her no matter how I try. I keep talking for 30 minutes straight. During that time, Kurisu hardly says a word. It's all my fault. Talking to Kurisu lets me sort everything out everything I've done, everything I've seen. I shouldn't have told Daru to hack CERN. It's definitely Kurisu. I shouldn't have asked you to build a time machine. I shouldn't have made Moeka a lab mem. Mayuri's death is all my fault. That's why I needed to bear the burden myself. I was resolved to do whatever it took to save Mayuri, never faltering, never giving up. And yet my resolve has already crumbled. If you know that Mayuri is going to die, then what are you doing wasting time here? Mayuri's tone is haughty. Is this how I sound when I'm playing Hoyin Gyoma? I just don't get it anymore. What don't you get? How to save Mayuri? Yeah, he did. Based on what you said, I guess the chronology protecting conjecture is true. No matter what I do, Mayuri dies. And that's why you keep time leaping. There's no guarantee that the machine is safe, you know. Kurisu lowers her gaze and cups her chin, as she often does when assessing a problem. Even if the machine works perfectly, repeated use may have serious side effects. For example, you may become disconnected from causality itself. You need to understand the risks if you're going to continue. Disconnected from causality, meaning it happens all the time in sci-fi. You become trapped in a closed time loop, never aging, never dying, but doomed to repeat the same day for all of eternity. Worst case, you may cease to exist entirely. What? Every trace of your existence will vanish. Nobody will remember you because your life will have never happened. Leaping through time is that dangerous. Humans are temporal beings. Kurisu looks surprised. Eidinger, I was thinking of that quote too. I heard it from you first. When? This isn't the first time I've leaped. Right, of course. Kurisu squats next to me, thinking deeply. If what you said is true, then I want to save Mayuri too. But as the co-creator of the Time Leap machine, I can't recommend its continued use. Will you listen to my advice? I can't do it alone. I know that now. I need your help. I have to save Mayuri. I can't do it alone, but together we might have a chance. I need to believe that. Please, lend me your strength. Kurisu sighs. Such a stubborn fool. What you've been through, I'm surprised it hasn't broken you already. Incredibly, she sounds concerned about me. She looks at me for a moment, then turns away as if embarrassed. I'll help. Anyway, I'm not doing this for you, okay? I'm doing it to save Mayuri. Yeah, of course. That and I think you'll make a good test subject. Now you're talking like CERN. It's completely different. How so? I only experiment on you. Besides, mad scientists experiment on themselves all the time, don't they? I guess. I'm no longer afraid to time leap. I'll do anything to save Mayuri. It's just a joke, don't take it so seriously. Kurisu stands up and looks at her watch. There's not much time. I think you should have a clear plan before trying to change the future again. Meaning, leap to an even earlier time. Then explain the situation to me again. Kurisu's right. My actions so far have been almost entirely random, and look where that's gotten me. I need a real plan if I'm going to save Mayuri. Let's go. Kurisu stretches out her hand. I grasp it and pull myself up. Mayuri and Daru are already back when we return to the lab. Suzuha's there too. To get rid of them, Kurisu and I explained that we forgot to do the shopping, so could they please take care of it for us? I have to cough up the money to convince them to go, but it works. I understand why you can't tell Mayuri, but why can't you tell Hashida? I'll tell him when it's necessary. For now, it's not, and I don't have time to explain. While Kurisu sets up the time machine, I head downstairs to the Braun Tube workshop, kick the door open, and turn on the 42-inch CRT. That went more smoothly than I anticipated. It's highly illegal, of course, but I leapt long before the cops. I'll leap long before the cops get here. You just fucking broke in. Curtis looks shocked when I return to the lab. They'll throw you in the slammer for breaking and entering. In a few seconds, it won't have happened. Curtis hands me the headgear and I put it on. I see. That's how it looks from your perspective. What does it look like from my perspective? What happens after you leap? You'll know soon enough. Well, technically, she may or may not. My consciousness travels to the past. That I know from experience. But what about the body I leave behind? If time is a straight line, then it's likely that the present will be reconstructed based on my actions in the past. But if the many worlds interpretation holds, then after I leave, this world will continue on as if nothing happened. I used to be so fascinated by the structure of the universe, but now I really don't care. All that matters is saving my Yuri. Kurisu's fingers stopped typing on the keyboard. What's wrong? It's nothing, I was just thinking. Maybe it works like a D-mail. The instant we send a D-mail, the present changes around us. Thanks to reading Steiner, only I remember what it was like before the change. That would make things easier, though I kind of hope you're wrong. Because you can't collect data if you can't record the change? Exactly. Kurisu nods and begins tinkering with the settings again. I set the destination to 5 hours ago. You should arrive around 1:40 p.m. I completed the time leap machine just after 2. Do you remember? Barely. For Kurisu, that happened only 5 hours ago. For me, it feels like 2 weeks. Maybe it has been weeks. Nobody likes a man who can't remember dates. Be thankful that I made a habit of checking the time. I have a pretty good idea of what happened when. Kurisu finishes typing and turns to face me. Listen, Okabe, if you're going to keep using the time leap machine, there's one thing you must remember. Don't let go of your phone, ever. It's your lifeline, your destination marker. As long as you keep it with you, you can leap to any time you want. But if you lose your phone, if someone else gets a hold of it, then if I leap to that time, my memories could overwrite theirs. I don't want to imagine what that might be, what might happen next. If it breaks or the battery dies, then I won't be able to leap to that time. If it breaks, then I can't get then I can get a new phone with the same number, but there will still be a period of time to which I can never leap. The time leap will fail. Once again, never let go of your phone. Got it. After you leap back to this afternoon, just sit tight and don't do anything until I complete the time leap machine. If you accidentally prevent me from completing the machine, it will likely wreak havoc on the timeline. As soon as I finish, declare that we will not experiment, then send everyone home. Ask me to stay, tell me the truth. If you say you came from the future, I'll probably believe you. How do you know? Who knows me better than myself? Kurisu grins faintly and stands up after she's done typing. Don't forget, it was my mad skills that turned the phone wave into a time leap machine. When you told me about your time leap, I took it as proof that my theories were right. I was happy it succeeded, I really was. I didn't doubt it was true for a second. See. Just to be safe, I should probably give you a passphrase. What I want the most right now is my own fork. What? It doesn't mean anything, okay? You want your own fork? I already have my own spoon. Wait, that doesn't matter. Everything's ready. Now get out of here. I nod and call up the phone wave named Subject to Change. Be careful and remember, I'm always on your side. Kurisu touches my shoulder, then steps away. Cool, we time leaped again. I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick though. Okay. This time we time leap in with a plan. And we also have curry stew on our side, which is like... It's kind of like having a hacker on your team in like Call of Duty or CSGO, you know? It's unfair for the other team. I lay back on the sofa with my phone in my hand. Needles in my brain, whining in my ears. These sensations never get any easier to endure. I look at the clock, it's about 1:45. There's a high school basketball game on TV. In about 15 minutes, Curry will finish the time leap machine. All it needs are some final adjustments, so there's nothing for me to do but wait. As the pain in my brain subsides, I realize that my head is throbbing. Why? Oh, I remember. Right before this, I had an argument with Mr. Braun in which he introduced his fist to my skull. Mary is at her sewing machine working on her costume. Daru is at his computer collecting moe artwork from the internet. Harisu is in the development room upgrading the time leap machine. I sit motionless as the minutes tick by. Suddenly, the sound of the sewing machine stops. Ocarine, can you come here? Mary shows me her costume. Can you hold this for me? Spread it out like fwap. Mahirishi, say fwap again. Fwap. I got a fwap. Stop it, perv. I forgot about this part. I follow Mahiri's directions and spread the costume out by the sleeves. Okay, thanks. Mary looks a little tired. She was working on this costume all night. But then she smiles brighter than the sun. All done. I said something here, didn't I? What was it? I can't remember. I finished before Christian. We were racing. You and Mayuri, congratulations. But I'm finished too. Urisu finishes connecting the two cords she's holding. Complete. Alright, that's my cue. We're not experimenting. Crap. Was that too soon? I just finished and you're already shutting it down? What I have been doing these past 3 days. It's supposed to be what have I been doing these past 3 days. That's not what I have been doing. Time leaping presents a host of problems. I want to consider them all carefully. Huh? That's an unusually respectable opinion coming from you. Problems? I thought it was done. I'll explain later. Everyone's tired, so let's go home. We're not going to have a party to celebrate? We'll do that another day. I managed to convince Daru and Mayuri to leave. I lend Mayuri my phone charger since we use the same brand of phone. Urisu tries to go home too, but I quietly keep her back. What? Are you upset? Yeah. Probably because I shot her down right after she finished the time leap machine. She'll feel relieved later, but only after she has time to fully consider its implications. I came from 5 hours in the future. Urisu spears me with a piercing glare. Is that supposed to be funny? Her narrowed eyes make me believe that looks can kill. Don't glare at me like that. This isn't right. You're supposed to believe me. What made you think I believe something like that? You told me so. 5 hours from now, okay? Don't be ridiculous. I would never make such a baseless projection. I'd like to have a word with future Kurisu. If this is how you're going to be, then you leave me no choice but to quote you word for word. When I told you about my time leap, you said I took it as proof that my theories are right. I didn't doubt it was true for a second. Don't forget, it was my mad skills that turned the phone wave into a time leap machine. I don't talk like that. What you want most right now is your own fork. What? Kurisu's face suddenly turns red. You already have your own spoon, apparently. She said that? I'm gonna kill myself 5 hours from now. She appears genuinely shocked for some reason, but I'm pretty sure she believes me now. It feels like someone peeked into my heart, and that someone is Okabe, of all people. What does she think I'm gonna do? But I think I believe you. Tell me the details. I explain everything to Kurisu again. I'm able to organize my thoughts better since this is my second time. I see. If what you say is true, then we have a serious problem. There are 5 hours until Mayuri's death. We need to come up with a plan before then. Future me said that the chronology protection conjecture holds that I don't think that's quite right. That conjecture says that according to quantum theory, time travel is impossible due to the danger of disrupting causality. But when you time leap, there's no chance of a time paradox occurring. 2 of me don't exist at the same time, and I can't bring anything with me to the past. All that changes are the memories stored on my temporal lobe. So, at the very least, time leaping can't cause the grandfather paradox. So I was right. Then the universe itself is censoring me, correcting any changes I try to make. If that's true, then time leaping can't save Mayuri. Nothing you do will change the result. I can't accept that. Neither can I. The world is trying to kill Mayuri. As a scientist, I refuse to believe such nonsense. What about the many worlds interpretation? I just need to observe the world where Mayuri doesn't die. The many worlds interpretation, that might have something to do with how Mayuri's means of death keep changing. But it's supposed to be impossible for parallel worlds to observe each other. Why are you different? Because of my Esper power, reading Steiner. This is no time for your Chinibyo nonsense. There's no other explanation. You've mentioned that reading Steiner thing before. Were you actually serious? Why would I make up something like that? Our DML experiments proved that I could somehow perceive changes in the timeline when they occur. It's an ability only I seem to possess. I don't know, but I don't want to rely on something that may not even exist. Anyway, you can't control which possibilities you observe. Even if the many worlds interpretation holds true, it's unreasonable to expect that you'll ever find a world where Mayuri doesn't die. Wait, we're not getting anywhere. Instead of analyzing what I've done, let's think about what we can do. Time leaping won't change the result. I just said that. Then what do we do? Calm down. How can I calm down? Do you know how many times I've seen Mayuri die? Covered in blood, gasping for breath, the light fading from her eyes again and again and again. And all I could do was watch. I hear my teeth grinding in my skull, recalling the despair. That feeling of utter powerlessness makes me want to lash out at everything within reach. Getting emotional won't solve anything. You're only calm because you weren't there. True, I don't know what happens 5 hours from now. To be honest, it doesn't feel real at all. But it's not like I don't believe you. You have to stay strong, Okabe. Kurisu pats my arm. Her hand is warm and her touch is gentle. How American of her. Sorry. What the fuck does that mean? She's right. Getting emotional won't solve anything. I need to calm down. Calm down. What I don't understand is how the cause can change, but the effect can stay the same. It's like causality itself is broken. Maybe Kiryu Moeka shooting her isn't the real cause of her death. Maybe it's something larger and less obvious. For example, maybe she dies because we invented a time machine, or maybe CERN discovered our hacking. If that's the cause, then it doesn't really matter how she dies. Causality remains intact. Can that theory explain why Nae pushed her in front of a train? Oh, right. Anyway, the principle of causality is absolute. Deny that, and you deny all of physics. There must be a distinct cause for Mayuri's death. So if we figure out what it is, then maybe we can save her. Not necessarily. What do you mean? The problem is when the causal event occurred. If it happened too far in the past, then there's nothing we can do. But I can travel to any time I had a cell phone, can't I? No, it's still theoretical, but I believe that one leap with our time machine has a maximum range of 48 hours. 48 hours. I can only go back 2 days? Why didn't you tell me that before? Before what? I just finished the time leap machine, remember? That's true. Future you didn't say anything about it either. Oh, so that's what you mean. Maybe she just didn't have the chance. So how come it can only leap 48 hours? I don't know. Even I don't understand everything that's going inside that thing. But you can do consecutive leaps, that is, as long as the time leap machine exists. For example, if the time leap machine remains functional for 10 years straight, you could leap back to this moment 10 years from now. Of course, it would take a total of 1,825 leaps, so I don't recommend it. Still, it's theoretically possible. Then what's the problem? Were you listening? I said as long as the time leap machine exists. When was the time leap machine completed? Exactly, an hour ago, August 13th, 2010, 2 p.m., or thereabouts. It didn't exist before then. It's impossible to use the machine before 2 p.m. today. So what you're saying is, count 48 hours back, I can't go back farther than 2 p.m. on the 11th? Urisu nods, her expression grave. Most likely. Can't you improve it? Eventually, maybe, but certainly not now. I'd need a real laboratory with real equipment. It would be expensive, which means we'd need sponsors. And if we go looking, I'm pretty sure CERN would crush us. I'd say that's proven to be the fact that neither you nor I have left here from the future. Far future. Yeah. So basically, can't do anything? Even with the time leap machine, we can't stop CERN from killing Mayuri 5 hours from now. At that moment, I hear a sound from outside the window. What? Is it Moeka? Does she overhear us? I dash to the window and look down at the street. It's Suzuha. Her bicycle has fallen over and she's scurrying to pick it up. Our eyes meet. Huh? Why does she look so pale? Her lips move slightly. It looks like she's whispering something, but I can't make it out from here. Hey. I call it Suzuha, but she leaps on her bicycle and zips away. She's acting strange. I smell a conspiracy. Oops, I pressed a button. Wicca was a spy. Could Suzuha be the same? It's too dangerous to trust anyone. Suzuha has exhibited suspicious behavior, though not as much as Moeka has. She's openly hostile towards Kurisu, and she was able to take down CERN's hit squad single-handedly. I wonder if this missing father of hers really exists. Could she be the John Titor who's been posting on the internet? What is the meaning of the name Beryl Titor? Instinct tells me that she knows something. I dash out of the lab. Hey, where are you going? I know I don't have much of a chance of catching her on foot, but I have to try. There's something going on here. This is a completely new sequence of events. According to my memories of the future, Suzuha is supposed to remain at the Bronze Tube workshop until 6:30 this evening. But when she overheard me talking to Kurisu, she suddenly took off like a bat out of hell. This has to mean something. That open window man is gonna fucking be the death of them. Suzuha's already out of sight, but when she left, she was headed for Todori, whatever the fuck it's pronounced. I wonder if her phone's on. Maybe I should try calling her. Come to think of it, this reminds me of something. Well, on the day she failed to meet her father, she disappeared without a word, just an email saying bye. I searched the town, but I couldn't find her, so I sent a D-mail that changed the past in order to make her stay. I'm pretty sure I lost her near the station back then. What happened on that timeline? Where did Suzuha go after failing to find her father? I search up and down Chudori, but find no trace of Suzuha on her bicycle. I have to be careful. There could already be rounders here in Akiba. I combed the area around the station's main exit, but there's no sign of her anywhere. I lost sight of her here before, so I thought she might be close by. Maybe I should corner her on my next time leap. Press her for answers before she can escape. I better go back to the lab. I start walking away from the station, but just then, the people around me gasp and point. Everyone's looking up at the sky. Not the sky. The satellite embedded in the roof of Radikan. Why now? It's been there for 2 weeks. It's practically a landmark by now. But everyone looks like they're seeing it for the first time. So I turn and look up too. What? Lights on the satellite are blinking. Is someone inside? Who? Suzuha? Or could it be Moeka? The satellite has remained silent through all of my previous time leaps. What has changed? Obviously the fact that Suzuha overheard my conversation with Kurisu. Previously, I lost sight of her at the station, in other words, right next to the Radican. Suzuha must be up there. Everyone's staring at the satellite. This is my chance to sneak in without being noticed. The shutters are half open, just as they were when I confronted Moeka. I summon my courage and crawl through the crack. When I get inside, the first thing I see is Suzuha's bike lying on the floor. So it is her. What is she trying to do? What is that satellite? How is it related to John Titor? Is it even a satellite? Nobody knows for sure. I check it online. No satellites fell out of the orbit that day. When they do, whether by accident or design, they usually burn up in the atmosphere. It's impossible for one to land in such perfect condition. So what is it then? A jolt suddenly runs through my body. Could it be a time machine? There's only one way to know for sure. I need to get there before Suzuha does something. The elevator and escalator aren't operating, so I bound up the stairs 2 at a time. My lungs gasp and my legs burn, but I force my body to carry me to the top. There's the satellite lodged in Radican's roof. I notice wires holding it in place. The police must have done that so it wouldn't fall. There's a hatch open on the side of the machine. I see someone moving inside. Suzuha. The person freezes when I shout. I run to the satellite. What could be Rintaro? Suzuha turns to me with a sad expression. Behind her, I can see the interior of the satellite. It's surprisingly simple without the switches and buttons you'd expect. Instead, there's a black box the size of a desktop PC. There are numbers on the screen. 2010, August 13th, and below that, 1975, August 13th. Suzuha reached out to press the button. Ow! Sparks burst in the panel. She jerks back, her fingertips burned. What are you doing? It's not working. You know how to use that thing? She doesn't reply. I see her shoulders sag. It's not working. Those sparks had to be from those sparks had to be from an electrical short. My eyes are burning from the smoke. Answer me, Amane Suzuha. Amane Suzuha. I swallowed hard, then asked the question. This is a time machine, isn't it? Are you a time traveler? With her head hung low, Suzuha nods. I'm John Titor. There's still a big crowd outside, so we exit the building on the side facing away from the station. Suzuha has calmed down a bit, so I start pressing her for answers. You shoot yourself in surprise. What do you mean you're John Titor? Exactly what it sounds like. I'm the John Titor who's been posting on that channel. I thought he was a guy. Suzuha smiles humorlessly. I fooled you. I guess my camouflage worked then. Where are you hiding from? CERN. Those stories you posted, were they true? Mostly. A few exceptions. It's those exceptions that bother me. So you came from 2036 and that satellite, that's your time machine? I was hoping you wouldn't find out, but my time machine went and broke on me. I really screwed up, huh? I thought Titor's machine was loaded in a Chevy. Chevy? That's a car, right? Where'd you hear that? The Titor in 2000 said so. 2000? That might be from on a different world line. At least I haven't been to 2000. I came straight here from 2036. So it was someone else? It's true that Titor never posted in 2000, not on the current world line. It doesn't matter, I can worry about that later. What do you know? I pressed Suzuha for answers, trapping her between me and the wall so she couldn't escape. You overheard my conversation with Kurisu, right? Why did you run to the time machine? What were you trying to do? I thought it was my fault. What? Because I neglected my mission, CERN was able to put their plan in motion. Is it true? He just yells it louder, seriously. Suzuha suddenly grabs my shoulders. Is it true that CERN kills Sheena Mayuri? It's true. I time leap from 5 hours in the future. Time leaped? So, you guys completed your time machine. I needed answers. What do you mean it's our fault? It's your fault. Suzuha bites her lip and looks away. I'll tell you everything. I think you need to know. You and Makise Kurisu. Kurisu? Why Kurisu? I'll guess I'll find out if I let Suzuha talk. We should head back to the lab. But first, I offer Suzuha my handkerchief. She looks at me for a second, then takes it and ties it around her burned hand. Thanks. She should probably see a doctor about her hand, but there's no time for that. Mayuri's death is approaching. I just hope she's not in too much pain. I wrap a towel around her hand to keep people around us from staring. Welcome back, Okarin. Oh, Suzuha's with you too. When we get to the lab, Mayuri and Daru are there for some reason. I thought I sent you home. Mayuri gives me a ditzy answer when I ask them. I really thought we should celebrate the birth of Super Phone Wave-chan. So Daru and I went shopping. I should have known she wouldn't stay away. Kurisu looks at me, looks as worried as I am. She leans close and whispers into my ear. What do we do? Make absolutely sure Mayuri doesn't find out. Kurisu nods slightly. What are you guys whispering about? How many times do I have to say it? No party. Come on, Okarin, that's no fun. It's not about fun. I glance at Suzuha. She looks depressed. Suzuha-san, are you feeling okay? Suzuha, Christina, and I have important matters to discuss. That's why I asked you to leave for the day. Mayushi wants to hear too. I think he's serious. But Suzuha looks sad. Mayushi's worried. Oh, I can't clean that up for you. The poor thing. Sorry. Suzuha hangs her head and bites her lip. I know she feels responsible for Mayuri's death, but how is she related? That's what I'm here to find out. Dude, that's an overpowered ability. That's too much. That literally makes it, like... It's too much. I want Sheena Mayuri and Hashida Itaru to stay. This concerns them too. If Suzuha says so, then I have no objections. But I quietly pull her aside and remind her not to tell them about Mayuri's impending death. Oh, so it's kind of necessary, it seems. And I quickly explain Suzuha's true identity, that she posts on that channel as John Titor, and that the satellite is really a time machine that came from the year 2036. A girl from the future? That's awesome. Can I shake your hand? They all die. We're not playing around here, Daru. What year were you born? 2017. That's in 7 years. You haven't been born yet, but you're here. Huh? There's no time to deal with Mayuri's confusion. Alright, Suzuha, let's hear it. Well, the gist is what I post on that channel. I came from the future, the year 2036. In my time, the world is a dystopia ruled by CERN. There's no war, no conflict, but no freedom either. Dystopia? A society where every activity is controlled by the government. In a dystopia, you're not allowed to eat bananas unless today is banana eating day. If you break that rule, they throw you in jail without a trial. Yeah, that got through to her. That's terrible. Maybe she loves bananas. Forget about the bananas. I'm part of the resistance fighting to free humanity from CERN's control. I came to the past to change my present. From your point of view, I guess I should say the future to change the future. You change the future. It doesn't sound like she's joking. What about finding your father? Was that a lie? Suzuha doesn't answer. Does that mean it was a lie? CERN is a research institution. They don't have political power. I explained that to John Titor several times online. Online? Wait, don't tell me. You're Kurigohan and Kamehameha? Kurisu turns red and looks away. Titor came forward, so it's only fair that I do too. In that case, I'll come clean too. I was posting under my true name, Hoin Kyo. Yeah, I know. Ah, you harmonized. Suzuha frowns. She must not like having anything in common with Kurisu. She clears her throat and continues. That part's so fucking funny in the anime. Because he just wanted to be like included in all the grand reveals, but he's using his fucking name. Yeah. Dude, her fucking username was what? Gohan and Kamehameha. What a fucking loser. CERN is still a research institution in 2036. The world is actually ruled by CERN's secret backers, the Committee of 300. The Committee of 300, they're real? That name was in CERN's top secret documents. When CERN successfully completed their time machine, they become the sole entity with power over the fourth dimension, time. In just 2 years, they remade the world to serve their purpose. Just 2 years, but that's only in objective time. I bet CERN's time travelers spent many decades leaping back and forth across history, building the foundation of CERN's rule. That brings us to Makise Kurisu. Suzuha glares at Kurisu. In 2036, you apothesized as the mother of the time machine. Apothesized? In Japanese, please? Apothesized, as in revered, respected. She keeps using unusual vocabulary, or maybe that's normal vocabulary in 2036. Respected. I am? In 2010, you pioneered time leap technology. Afterwards, you contribute to the development of CERN's time machine. That's what I know about Makise Kurisu. Is that why she treats Kurisu like an enemy? Then I must be the father of the time machine, right? Okabe Rintaro is a terrorist in 2036. You're pretty infamous. What? Seriously? I'm a terrorist in the future? I helped CERN build their time machine? I don't believe it. CERN experiments on people against their will. They're a disgrace to scientists everywhere. I would never collaborate with them. But that's how it is in the future. How did the future me explain herself? We've never met. By 2036, you're already dead. Sorry. Well, that's just great. I don't even make it to 50? In my time, there are two kinds of people, those who live extremely long lives and those who die young under suspicious circumstances. People who act against CERN are erased. They erased me? Suzuha looks into Kurisu's eyes. For once, she's not glaring at Kurisu. Maybe you were being used by CERN too. Maybe they took your parents hostage and forced you to work on their time machine. No, does that mean Mama's in danger? Kurisu's mother is in America. It's not terribly difficult to imagine CERN kidnapping her while Kurisu is away. After all, I watched Moeka kill Mayuri in cold blood. Rounders. What's that? CERN's private army, or something like that. Suzuha nods. On paper, they're an independent technology research firm. In reality, they do the dirty work for CERN all over the world. According to Moeka, they have two chief duties. First, to acquire IBM 5100s, the only computers that can access CERN's secret database. Second, to find promising scientists in the field of time travel and force them to cooperate with CERN, or eliminate them if they will not. So they already exist. I thought they might. In my time, they're our number one enemy. They are our number one enemy. Did dirty work? Does that mean like kidnappings and assassinations? Suzuha looks at me with a question in her eyes. I shake my head. In my time, yes, but I don't think they've reached that level in this time yet. Daru is visibly relieved. Amane-san, you said that most of what you posted was as John Titor was true, right? Yeah, right. Does that mean you know how the universe works? You claim that the Everett Wheeler model, the many worlds interpretation, is correct. That was a lie, camouflaged so that CERN wouldn't target me. If I mixed one lie into the truth, then the bad apple spoils the barrel. So you don't know. I do. By 2036, scientists have successfully modeled the structure of the universe, and it's not the many worlds interpretation. Really? Tell me. Attractor fields. Right, I told you by mail, didn't I? What sort of model is that? The universe is made up of world lines and attractor fields. Suzuha walks over to Mayuri's sewing table and picks up a ball of red yarn. She holds one end of the yarn and drops the ball to the floor, then holds about a meter of yarn in front of her face. The universe is like this piece of yarn. Countless possible world lines exist side by side, branching out to infinity. From a distance, it looks like a single string, but when you look closer, the string is actually made up of individual threads woven together. At the end, those threads converge to a single point. The paths are different, but the destination is the same. Isn't that determinism? The school of philosophy that states that every event is predetermined by previous events. The past determined the present determines the future. Even though we may think that we are acting of our own free will, in truth, we are only following a predetermined path. Those who subscribe to determinism often cite the thought experiment of Laplace's demon. For, hey, isn't that in Bunny Girl Senpai? An intellect which at a certain moment would know all forces that set nature in motion, and all positions of all times, of all items of which nature is composed. Nothing would be uncertain, and the future, just like the past, would be present before its eyes. Just fucking annihilating them. Close. The model is a little looser. You could say it cherry picks from the many worlds interpretation and the Copenhagen interpretation. If the branches all lead to the same place, does that mean there's only one world in the end? Exactly. The bundle of world lines that share a point of convergence is called an attractor field. There are also many attractor fields. This string is attractor field alpha. The threads are alpha world lines. This then cuts meter lengths of blue, yellow, and white yarn. Blue is beta, yellow is gamma, white is delta. Each is made up of countless beta world lines, gamma world lines, and delta world lines. She twists the different colored strings together, then stretches them out as one fat, multicolored string. Attractor fields are superpositioned like this. In each attractor field, the world lines converge on a different result. They don't interact. Each attractor field is independent of the others. Of course, they all diverge from a common point somewhere in the past, and they will all converge again at some point in the future, but that takes many hundreds of years. You could think of the attractor fields as very long world lines. Can you compare it to an eroge? Teach me, oh erotic one. There's no erotic one here. No, he's right. It is like an eroge. Each heroine's root is an attractor field, and the small choices are the individual world lines. But at the end, they all enter the true root for the grand ending. The only difference is the length of the common parts. By the way, I'd choose the little sister's attractor field. Of course you would. Whatever. You guys are hopeless. You better do something quick. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Just ignore them. Let me get this straight. He would he would certainly choose Futaba. No question. You got that fucking right. Thank God there's no, like... There's no Futaba character, really, in Persona 4, which is... Oh, well, now you're fucked. The reason I can't save Mayuri is that their death is the event upon which this attractor field converges. But that means that the world really is killing Mayuri. See, you have to give that, whatever persona you have that's using that ability, you have to give it the ability that makes it immune to, isn't it like an immune to silence like ability? It means the world really is killing Mayuri. But then isn't it impossible to change the future? It always converges in the end, right? No matter what you do, the result is the same. That's right. That's why Mayuri dies no matter how many times I leap. We have to escape Attractor Field Alpha. Escape? In other words, we're going to jump to a world line in Attractor Field Beta. I thought attractor fields couldn't interact. Attractor fields are normally separate, but if we go to the instant they diverge, the instant they diverge is that now? I was taught that a major divergence occurs in 2010. This year, an earth-shattering event causes divergence at the attractor field level. That's the last time such a divergence occurred. The last time such a divergence occurred was the year 2000, and before that, 1991. I know this is Y2K, but I forgot what this is supposed to be. Y2K and something. Maybe like a war? I think it may have been a war. What happened in those years? Okay, now they'll tell us. Events that changed the face of the world. Huh? 1991 was the collapse of the Soviet Union. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Close enough, though. Right? But what happened in 2000? 2001 had the 9/11 attacks. The year 2000 problem. Y2K? But that was just hype. Nothing happened. That's because the Alpha World line we're on represents a world where Y2K didn't occur. So in other words, there are worlds where it did occur, and that brings us 2010. Did something big happen this year? What else could it be? Suzuha looks towards the development room. But the creation of humanity's first time machine. Oh, yeah, wow. One more question. Gurisu keeps plowing ahead. I guess that's what makes her a scientist. These world lines aren't parallel worlds, are they? No, ultimately they're just possibilities that exist simultaneously. Then how do you observe the differences between world lines? Wouldn't you need a god's eye view to do that? Normally, however, this is how it looks at me. Don't tell me. Reading Steiner? Is that what you call it, Okabe Rintaro? You have the power to observe changes across world lines, correct? Yeah, that's the key. Your power is the key to freeing the world from CERN's rule. You have the power of a god. My power? If you escape the Attractor Field Alpha and reach Beta World Line, then the result will change. I feel a shiver of excitement. So there's hope. I can save Mayuri. Suzuha nods firmly. Then I must do it. I have no choice. Wait a second. Kurisu, however, is not so enthusiastic. How do we know this is all true? What if Amane-san is just making stuff up? What? I'm not making stuff up. Calm down, I'm not trying to pick a fight. But I still have questions. 1, how do you know about Okabe's power? 2, how did you know Okabe and I were in Akihabara in 2010? Don't you know a little too much for someone born in 2017? Here's a point. Everyone looks at Suzuha. It was written in Dad's will. His will? What do you mean? His will was what made me decide to time travel. My dad was one of the founding members of the Resistance. He hid from CERN and researched time travel on his own. He wanted to change the future. But CERN killed him. That's why I'm here, to fulfill his dream. I'm sorry. Suzuha doesn't look at Kurisu. She still seems to have a grudge against her. Kurisu would never actively cooperate with CERN, I know that, but I just can't say it in front of Suzuha. For some reason, Suzuha really does see Kurisu as responsible for the problems of the future. But if that's the case, why doesn't Suzuha just kill Kurisu? Wouldn't that change the future too? Maybe she can't. World lines converge. No matter how hard I struggle, Mayuri dies. Similarly, if it may be impossible for Suzuha to kill Kurisu, no matter how much she wants to. Suzuha clears her throat as if to change the future. Sorry, change the subject. Akihabara 2010. The time machine created here accelerates CERN's own time machine research. We have to stop that from happening in order to guide history in a new direction. Stop it. How? CERN already knows about us. That's clear from Moeka's attack. Dad believed that the ultimate cause was the very first email you sent with your time machine. An email? It wasn't because they caught us hacking? Like I said, nobody can catch my hacking. Which email are you talking about? I know. Wasn't it the email Ocarina sent that said Chris-chan died? Right, the email I sent to Daru right after Dr. Nakabachi's conference. Oh, that. Back then, we hadn't yet realized that the phone wave named Subject to Change was a time machine. CERN probably intercepted that email and realized what it meant. They were already onto us back then? Come to think of it, the first time I met Moeka was the day after I sent that email. We really jumped into the deep end, huh? Maybe she's good at the breaststroke. Hey, good for you. Alright, then do a sexy underwear pose. But how did they intercept our email? Hundreds of millions of emails are sent around the world each day. CERN uses an echelon network to collect communications pertaining to time travel research worldwide. Echelon? It really exists? Okay, fine. I have an idea, but what is it? According to conspiracy theories, Echelon is an advanced signal interception system based in the United States and operated by the National Security Agency. However, American authorities have never publicly admitted to Echelon's existence, and no proof that it exists has ever been found. Participating countries allegedly include the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, but not France. Yeah, fuck France, apparently. As an ally of the United States, I mean, it makes sense because of fucking CERN, but you know, as an ally, well, I mean, I don't know, I'll fuck it up. This is the category it's in, all right? As an ally of the United States, Japan can also allow the construction of domestic echelon stations in exchange for access to the intercepted data. The elephant cage and antenna array located at Misawa Air Base in Amori, Japan, is rumored to be one such station. These stations are said to intercept, collect, and analyze a wide range of signals, including private cell phone transmissions. The wire to CERN? No, it can't be. No. If you're talking about the Echelon network, no, they're just saying they have some kind of system in place that lets them basically filter every single cell phone communication transmission, and anything related to time travel gets brought to them. But no, the wire to CERN is something different. As an experiment, because the Echelon covers literally everyone in the world, like all communications. It's not targeted. As an experiment on conspiracies, I understand the implications, and they terrify me. No one else seems to get what Suzuha is saying, though. Echelon sees everything, and any transmission that even CERN hints at time travel is filtered and sent to CERN. Okay, why the fuck do I even talk? What am I here for? For example, an email that appeared to have come from the future. We need to find the record of that email in CERN's database and delete it. If you do that, then CERN will never know you exist. Their time machine won't be completed in 2034. If we're lucky, the program may be shut down entirely. In other words, deleting that data will take us to the attractor field where CERN doesn't build a time machine. There wasn't any data like that when we hacked the CERN database. than the IBM 5100. Oh, of course, CERN's IBM 5100 database. That's probably where they store the data from Echelon. So that's what it is. Damn it, Daru. Why didn't we use the IBM 5100 earlier? We never had one? What are you talking about? I got one, remember? Huh? Come on, buddy, you got... Right. That was on a different world line. Oh, on this world line, I never found the IBM 5100. My mission is to make sure you acquire an IBM 5100. You have one? Suzuha shakes her head. I'm going to 1975 to obtain one. 1975, the year the IBM 5100 went to the market. I know because John Titer in 2000 said that was his mission. Was that John Titer's Suzuha too? Anyway, if Suzuha can get us an IBM 5100, then we can leave this attractor field and jump to a beta world line where CERN never finds us and their time machine is never completed. Mayuri won't have to die. Alright, we need to move fast. How soon can you leave, Suzuha? How soon can you leave, Suzuha? I was trying to leave when you caught me, but... Suzuha bows her head apologetically. I look at her burnt hand. She's hiding it from Mayuri and Daru, but I can see the blood staining my handkerchief. How bad was that shock? It hurts to look at. Maybe we should get her to a doctor. Right, your time machine's broken. Can you fix it? No, I just ride it. My dad's the one who built it. I've memorized the manual, so I know how it works, but it doesn't mean she knows how to repair it. And there's no guarantee that a time machine from 2036 can be repaired with today's technology. Maybe we can use the time leap machine to go back before Amane-san's time machine broke. Wait, you're going to use the time leap machine? Wasn't the plan not to experiment? I still haven't told Daru about my time leaping. There's no time to explain it. We'll use it if the situation demands. Do you know when it broke, Suzuha? No, but it was probably the rain a few days ago. It's supposed to be airtight, but the inside was all wet when I checked it today. Maybe it made a hole when you crashed into Radican? That wasn't a crash. The coordinates were slightly off, so I just appeared there. It's not exactly the most stable machine. Anyone remember when it rained? The morning of the 10th, just before dawn. The time leap machine can only cover 48 hours in a single time leap, and the time leap machine was completed today, the 13th, at 2 p.m. That means we can't go farther back than 2 p.m. on the 11th. Damn, we can't get there with a time leap machine. I thought we had a glimmer of hope. I think we should try to fix it. Yeah, it's a time machine, so we have plenty of time, right? Kurisu, Suzuha, and I say nothing. We know. It's in less than 2 hours Mayuri will die. It's already 5:30. There's barely enough time to sneak into Radican, let alone fix Suzuha's time machine. Maybe I should leap now to 2 p.m. on the 11th, then we'll have 2 full days to fix the machine. You're all hungry, aren't you? You should be. Oh, what's this all of a sudden? Mayushi's hungry. As expected from a glutton. I take a 10,000 yen bill out of my wallet. Mayuri, Daru, I leave the shopping to you. We can come up with a plan while we eat. Wow, Ocarine, what are you going to do with all this money? What are we going to do with all this money? Buy food. Lots of food. Use it all. You just calmly hand over a 10,000 yen bill? Wow, Ocarine, you make it look easy. That's why we love you. That's why we admire you. Mayuri and Daru leave, and I didn't read the rest of it. Leaving high spirits, I knew the 10,000 yen bill would work. Christina, Titer? Titer? Is that me? Who else? Why are you calling me that now? Because you're the one behind Titer's mask. Well, yeah, but... Just give up. Okabe rarely calls anyone by their name. Oh, yeah, he always calls me part-time warrior for some reason. Listen, you two, I'm going to leap to 2 p.m. on the 11th. After Titer explains himself again, We'll start repairs on the time machine. Our goal is to have it working by this time today. Is that the best plan? It's better than trying to fix it when we only have 2 hours left. If it doesn't work, I'll just keep repeating the same 2 days. Sorry. Titer, we're counting on you to get us an IBM 5100. Never forget, I'm not doing this for you. I'm not doing it for the future. My mission is to save Mayuri. Call me self-righteous if you want. However, I'm doing this my way. Arisu and Susa give an encouraging nod in agreement. Good, then let's begin. You're not going to name the operation? Who cares about that? This isn't a game. Mayuri's life hangs in the balance. You couldn't find a good Norse mythology themed name? Why Norse mythology? I don't think there's a deep meaning behind it. Chunibyo patients just love Germanic names for some reason. Now that you mention it, most of our operation names in the Resistance have Germanic names too. Whenever I ask, they say it's tradition. So there's still Chunibyo in 2036. But the chatter. Mary's life hangs in the balance. There's no time for this nonsense. Arisu sets up the time loop machine while Susaha goes to turn on the 42-inch CRT. Well, before Mayuri returns, I leap. It's been the it's been the 11th, 12th, and 13th for quite some time. When I come to, I'm standing with my phone in my hand. While I wait for the ring in my ears to subside, I check the date and time on my phone screen. August 11th, 2:21 p.m. Alright, now I have 2 more days. As a matter of fact, I leapt twice. First at 2 p.m. on the 13th, when the time machine was completed. From there, I leapt an additional 48 hours to 2 p.m. on the 11th. It was my first consecutive leap, but it seems to have gone well. I immediately head downstairs to see Suzuha. I'm relieved to see that her hand isn't burned. When I explain the situation, Suzuha races to Radikan to confirm my story. After she realizes that I'm telling the truth, I take her back to the lab and have her repeat the explanation she gave us before I time leaped. We come to the conclusion that all we can do right now is try our best to repair Suzuha's time machine. Let's take a look. Aru is unusually enthusiastic. I guess Suzuha's talk of attractor fields and divergence and correcting histories and mistakes got his blood pumping somewhere else other than his cock. Hold on, everyone? Ari stops us as we're about to leave the lab. Guys, are we forgetting something? Like what? What about Suzuha's dad? Oh, right. I thought Suzuha was lying about that, but when I turn to her, she looks away. You would fucking cry? But she can't reveal it. She doesn't know who her dad is. So it would have to be revealed to her, right? Doesn't matter now, does it? It doesn't. It does too. I mean, it'll take time to fix the time machine, won't it? We should help Suzuha find her dad in the meantime. Right? But when I show reluctance, Mayuri puffs out her cheeks. Don't be like that, Ocarine. You have to keep your promise. What promise? We promised, remember? We said we'd all look for Suzuha's dad. That's right. We convinced her to stay by promising to help look for her father. Yeah, I remember. I know Suzuha has a mission and stuff, but I think she also came because she really wanted to meet her dad. Maybe she wants to make that happen. If Mayuri feels that strongly about it, there's no way I can refuse. Yeah, no, she's just such a... Aw, dude. You're such a nice girl. Suzuha has sniffles. You're right. I thought I could find him if I came to this town. I know that he was in Akihabara in 2010. So your father's real? Of course he is. At this age, he's probably still young and cool. His name is Beryl Titer, right? Yeah, that's right. Oh my god, dude. What's the problem now? What makes you think it's Daru? Wow, a foreigner. No, I'm pretty sure he's Japanese. Barrel Titer is his code name in the Resistance. I don't think he's using it yet. You don't know? You're just making an assumption? So that's why Suzuha called herself John Titer. I don't know his real name. Some daughter, huh? Suzuha looks like she's about to cry for an instant, but she quickly covers it with a bitter smile. He died before he could tell me. Hearing that, I realized how hellish the world she came from must be. What about your surname, Amane? Just the most out there conclusion. I'm surprised that on her father's will, her father's name isn't on the will. Because apparently she read the will, and that's what convinced her to time travel, but apparently Barrel Titer didn't have the foresight to put his name on it. That was my mother's maiden name. So you have no leads. Leads? Oh, there is one thing. Suzuha claps her hands together and starts patting her pockets. A few seconds later, she reaches into one and pulls out a pin? I've seen Suzuha fiddling with it before. It's just a regular pin, the kind you stick on your hat or bag. There's something written on it. It reads OSHM *** A7010. That's a 7? It's belonged to my dad. A memento? Google it, Daru. Daru runs a search, but only gets incomprehensible foreign sites. I'll time you out. He was here in Akihabara, so I think we can exclude the foreign sites. Okay, got it. He narrows the search down to Japanese sites, but even then, none of the results look relevant. Nothing. But this has to be some kind of hint. Suzuha has permission, I take a picture of the pin. Okay, all in favor of helping Suzuha find her dad. I want to argue that there's no time for that, but Mayuri's right when she says that the time machine won't be ready for a while. I guess there's no harm in letting her have her way. After all, there's no point in running, not even with 2 days head start. Even if I dragged Mayuri to the ends of the earth, we wouldn't be able to escape her death. I know that now. No objections. Thanks, Ocarine. Darius raises his hand in agreement. So does Kurisu. It's aside. We'll help Suzuha find her father. Everyone, thank you. But I want to be clear that my mission to 1975 comes first. That was my dad's final wish, after all. So if we still haven't found him by the time repairs are complete, I think we should give up. Is that okay? Are you sure? If we still haven't found him by then, it just wasn't meant to be. It's a relief to hear Suzuha say that. So where do we start? Pin is our only hint. We'll hit every store in Akiba that sells things like this. Maybe someone will know where it came from. What kind of stores? Akiba is full of niche stores where you can find strange and cool accessories. It's hard to sneak into Radikan in the daytime. There isn't a crowd out front like before, but pedestrian traffic remains constant. It takes about 30 minutes to find a way in. Kurisu is back at the lab working on the time leap machine. It needs to be complete by 2 p.m. on the 13th. If she's late, it could affect my ability to time leap, which would lower my chances of saving Mayuri. Speaking of Mayuri, she wandered off somewhere in search for Suzuha's father. How does it look? I called Daru, who's examining the flooded site. The time machine. Well, the time machine. Well, Suzuha and I keep a lookout. Daru crawls out of the machine. He's covered in sweat and his breathing is heavy. We quickly help his huge body out. The time leap machine is completely visible from the street. If someone were to see us up here, they might report us to the police. It's been 2 weeks since the satellite appeared, but Akiba has tourists who come to see it. We need to take care not to be noticed. It's so freaking hot here. It's worse than a sauna. Spending too much time in there and I'll turn into Daru jerky. By the way, it's not gonna fall or anything, right? The time machine is balanced precariously on the ledge, but the police have hooked up support wires, so Daru probably has nothing to worry about. Can it be fixed? Well, I still don't know for sure, but there is one thing I noticed just now. It's built kind of like the phone wave. That means there's a chance, right? I said I'm not sure. I need to poke around some more. Daru, Supahaka, everything depends on your skills now. You are the Supahaka who will save the world. In 2036, people will worship you instead of Kurisu, the mother of the time machine. It's hacker. How many times do I have to tell you? Anyway, you have 2 days. Do whatever it takes, Daru. I place my hand on Daru's shoulder and look straight into his eyes. You're our only hope. No promises, man. And why only 2 days? Well, because that's when Mayuri will die, but I can't say that. In 2 days, the weather conditions will be perfect for creating the ring singularity. If we miss that window, we won't have another chance until next year. Nice excuse, Suzuha. Precisely. Fix it in 2 days. That's just nuts. But if you do, you'll earn the right to date with Ferris. Wait, is that what she said? And okay, I'm accidentally skipping dialogue. If you do, you'll earn the right to a date with Ferris. Can you fix it? Yeah, no problem. Great. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to convince Ferris. OSHM **A7010. We're searching for something with the same cryptic logo on this mysterious pin. Honestly, I didn't think it would be this difficult. Akiba has plenty of niche stores, but they're all for electronics goods and PC parts. There aren't many selling accessories like Susa's pin. We check every one we can find, but come up empty-handed. None of the store employees have any idea where it came from either. Even check nearby neighborhoods like Ueno and Asakusa. Nothing. Suzuha and I return to the lab with heavy hearts. Welcome back. Kurisu emerges from the development room to greet us. She's alone. From the looks in your faces, I guess you didn't find anything. Where's Daru? He hasn't come back yet. It's already dark, so maybe he went straight home? It's too dark to work at Radican now. We can't use lights because that would be too conspicuous to the people below. Mayuri isn't around. Is she making any progress in the search for Suzuha's father? I feel bad. There's no time for this. It's not for you. We're doing it to save Mayuri. Yeah. I start up Daru's computer and search the net for communities of people who collect unique pins. I'll investigate tomorrow based on the information I find. There's a pin collecting group on a site called Frey Para, where everyone shows off their collections. I post there asking for information. I'm sleeping on the couch when a loud alarm rings in my ears. Is it CERN? I jump up and see Kurisu and Suzuha. Kurisu is holding her phone, the source of the sound. Good morning. Her sour expression says it's not good at all. Wish she put herself in my shoes and see what it's like to be woken up suddenly like that. I check the time on my phone. It's just before 7 a.m. You came to wake me up? Thanks. I didn't do it for you. I asked her to wake you up, Okabe Rintaro. There's something I want to show you. I realize that there's a strange object sitting on the table in front of me. What's this? A divergence meter. The number indicates the divergence value of the current world line. The meter displays 0.337187%. Divergence is measured from my original time world line, which corresponds to 0. You made this? No, I brought it with me from 2036. These are Nixie tubes, right? Whoever made this has taste. I'd happily dub it Future Gadget number 9. How exactly does it work? It shouldn't be possible to measure changes like that. Suzuha shrugs. I don't know either. You don't know? And you guess who made it? How should I know? You did, Okabe Rintaro. Huh? You made it, 11 years from now. It apparently works the same way your special power does. Huh. So this meter lets other people check world line divergence? I wish. I'm pretty sure only Okabe Rintaro would notice if the number changed. What? Then there's no point. Making something useful for once, Okabe. I ignore Kurisa's complaints and look at the meter again. This is something I made. 15 years have passed since I completed it. 11 years will pass before I complete it. It's a strange feeling. Only the person who made it knows how it works. Wait 11 years, I'm sure he'll have it figured out by then. Have you met me in the future? She did say I was an infamous terrorist in 2036. For some reason, Susa's expression darkens momentarily. No, never. Oh. So, why are you showing me this? When the meter reads over 1%, you've made it to the beta world line. 1%. Right, reach 1% divergence and you will save Shina Mayuri. I stare at the glowing red numbers, they don't budge. Just another 0.6, it seems so easy. But there are 6 digits after the decimal point and no tens place. What does that mean? Something tells me it won't be as easy as it looks. You can have it, no point me carrying it around. I hope you'll find a use for it. Based on recommendations from the BBS thread, I spend the morning visiting stores in Akiba. My destinations run the gamut from otaku stores packed with anime goods to souvenir shops full of Olympic memorabilia. I even visit a few that specialize in locally manufactured goods. But although I hit just about every kind of store that could be considered niche, I am unable to find anything that resembles Suzuha's pin. Alright, let me use the bathroom real quick. Okay, Suzuha pin time. Maybe I should go all the way to Ikebukuro or Nakano. I start heading back to the lab, but just then a street vendor catches my eye. The storekeeper is a foreigner covered in tattoos. The table next to him is covered with accessories and other fashion items. This is the first time I've seen such a stylish street stand in Akiba. Most vendors just sell random junk. It's not like I have anything to lose, so I walk over and check out the selection. Among the various accessories, I find a number of metal pins. What a coincidence, could he have a pin like Suzuha's? I don't see the OSHM *A7010 logo on any of the displayed accessories, but I'd better ask just to be sure. He's a foreigner, so maybe I should use English? Our eyes meet. His are as bright and blue as the sky. I quickly look away. Damn, he must think I'm a coward. Better get this over with. Hey, master, I'm mad scientist. So cool, son of a bitch. Can I help you? He smiles a wide, toothy smile, nice teeth, and answers in Japanese. I was hoping for more of a reaction. I have a question, if you don't mind. I take a photocopy of Suzuha's pin out of my pocket. Does this look familiar? The man stares at it for a while, then shrugs and shakes his head in the exaggerated manner typical of Westerners. That's a fucking racist. I want to know where it came from. Can you help me find out? Sorry, it's so little difficult, eh? What is he saying? By the way, where did you get this thing? That's what I want to know. I'll compensate you. I'm sorry. He apologizes in broken Japanese. Looks like this is another dead end. Just in case, I give him my contact information and ask him to get in touch if he finds out anything. Then I turn to leave. Okabe Rintaro. Suzuha's standing a short distance away. He's holding a drink. It's my favorite, Dr. P. No wait, that's cola. Sup, want a drink? I accept the offer and quench my thirst while leaning on the roadside fence. Last time I saw her, Suzuha was on her way to Kanda to continue the search. How long has she been standing here? Anything? Nope. So what was your work? So what was with your English back there? It sounded dumb. So cool. Is that standard English in this era? Of course not. Oh, so it's an Okabe Rintaro original. There's no overseas travel in my time, so I wouldn't know. No overseas travel? What do you mean? What, you mean at all? Pretty much. Travel permits are hard to get, and they'd never issue one for a vacation. I'd never even seen a foreigner before coming to this time. So in the future, no one is allowed to leave Japan? Japan was like that a few centuries ago too, when the Tokugawa shogunate was closed the country to the west. It sounds like CERN set in international relations back 100 years. Perhaps that's why there's no war in Suzuha's time. It's hard for conflicts to emerge when races and cultures can't interact. There's gonna be like some idiot out there who's gonna read like mega racist like off of these terms. He's gonna like read way too deep into these statements. And he's gonna say like, Steins Gate's racist. I called it. Cancelled. You know it's gonna happen. Perhaps that's why there's no war, since at the time it's hard for conflicts to emerge when races and cultures can't interact. This guy gets me. It's over party. It sounds like it sounds kind of like a prison with invisible walls guarded by CERN and the Committee of 300. I mean, ending war is obviously a good thing, but anyway, there's no point thinking about this in the future now. We need to come up with a new plan. He's getting over the fucking hashtag. The sunlight beats on my head, making it hard to think. I feel like I'm standing in a sauna. Why does the sun hate me so much? Shining in the center of the sky like he owns the damn place. Damn it, why can't we find any information on that pin? You even include a semicolon. It's true, we really went all out there. I suppose it's no skin off my back if we don't find Suzuha's father. As long as Daru fixes the time machine, nothing else matters. So why do I feel so bad about my lack of progress? I really don't know. Maybe I'm just frustrated by my own powerlessness. I can't save Mayuri, I can't fix Suzuha's time machine, I can't even help Kurisu with the time leap upgrade. So what am I good for? The only thing I can do is help Suzuha find her father. Maybe this pin is newer than we think. I mean, maybe it hasn't been made yet. Suzuha stretches, then looks at me with a calm smile. Maybe I'm not meant to meet him. I mean, we tried everything and still no sign. It's just not in the cards, I guess. I feel a surge of anger at her words. Here I am, stewing in self-loathing, and she acts like it doesn't matter? How can you give up? We still have one more day. Why are you getting mad? Everyone's fighting for you, don't you get it? Me? I want to prioritize Mayuri over everything else. But you still have a lab mem, a friend. When a friend's in trouble, you want to help them. That's how Mayuri felt, and I agree. That's why I'm searching. So how dare you be the first to give up? You don't have to yell. Don't disappoint me like this. I tell myself to calm down. This is just my own feelings of impotence boiling over. There's no time for this. I'm sorry, but maybe you should think about how I feel. I realize that we have an audience. Some pedestrians are grinning at us like they think we're a bickering couple or something. take a deep breath. You're right, I shouldn't have said that. It's too awkward to make eye contact. So I look around, pretending to think. Alright, what's next? I wonder how the other lab mems are progressing. I'm especially concerned about Daru. Depending on the situation, he might need some relief. He's been working in that heat for hours, so we should bring him something cold to drink. And then there's Mayuri. She's been working alone, trying to find some information on Suzuha's father. If I close my eyes, I can still recall her deaths in every detail. I resist the urge to pound my head against the wall. Although we still have over 24 hours before that happens, I can't help but worry about leaving her alone. But currently all I can do is search for that pin. We decided to try Ikebukuro as our last stop for the day. It would be nice to visit home, but I don't have the time, and besides, Suzuha's with me. Our search turns up nothing. As the evening wears on without a single lead, Suzuha and I grow quieter and quieter. We are exhausted from walking, and we can't shake the feeling that all our efforts are futile. This isn't good. By the way, I try stirring up conversation. I should get her to talk about the future. After all, she is a time traveler. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. I remember how shocked Kurisu was to learn that she only lives to be 44, and I was told that I'd become a terrorist. Am I really famous in 2036? As a terrorist? Oh. So what did I do to be called a terrorist? You rebelled against CERN. You're actually one of the founding members of the Resistance, just like my dad. I helped found the Resistance? I guess that makes sense, given what we're going through right now. Suzuha is from the future of this timeline, where Mayuri is doomed to die, and where CERN forces Kurisu to build a time machine. In such a future, how could I not rebel against CERN? Rebellion against the system, destruction of order, a new age of chaos. Weren't those my ambitions as a mad scientist? How stupid. Stupid? How can I still be chasing some Chunibo fantasy when I couldn't even save Mayuri? You're fighting to free humanity. I think that's a noble cause. Suzuha is part of the resistance I formed. Does that mean she's my subordinate in the future? What sort of man am I? Suzuha's expression darkens. I said we never met, remember? Never? Never. You were killed by CERN in 2025. I was killed by the same people who killed Mayuri? They had no reservations about murdering an innocent girl. I doubt they would hesitate to kill a terrorist. Maybe I should have told you sooner. Understand, if we don't change the future, you're going to die in 15 years. China Mayuri will die, you will die, Makise Kurisu will be a slave to CERN. It ends badly for every lab mem. What about Daru? I don't remember hearing about him. I have heard legends of a wizard-class hacker, though. Though I don't understand what wizard class means in the first place. Wizard class, I coined that term. I can imagine Daru slowly insinuating himself into every corner of the internet, until he becomes a godlike virtual presence and not even CERN can comprehend. Anyway, I don't want that to happen to you guys. That's one more reason I need to find an IBN 5100 and change the future. Until I came to this time, you guys were just stories, history, but now you're my friends. I want to save you. Appreciated. You are a lab mem now and forevermore. Thanks. What the fuck? I already told Kurisu that I was confident in her ability to complete the time machine on time. Are you sure I can finish the time leap machine in a day? We still haven't found our lifter substitute, remember? I can't complete the upgrade without it. But it occurs to me that I forgot to tell her about the 42-inch CRT. Our lifter is the 42-inch CRT downstairs. The electrical discharge phenomenon occurs when it's turned on, so don't worry about it, just finish the upgrade. There, that should do it. I send a reply and decide to keep searching for the pin with Suzuha just a bit longer. Time is quickly running out. Is there anything more that we can do? It's early evening, but the root of Radikan is still hotter than hell. Roof of Radikan. When I provide Daru with a refreshing gift to Dr. P, a frown appears on his sweaty face. you're supposed to give a man an ice-cold 0 calorie cola. Common sense, man. Forgot he's a cola guy. No sense in letting it go to waste. I drink the Dr. P myself. Daru and Suzuha start discussing the time machine. Mayuri and I watch from a short distance away. Hey, Ocarine, isn't it amazing that the satellite was a time machine? Yeah, I guess so. I thought that Titor's time machine was a car, a 1970s Chevy. It never even occurred to me to suspect the satellite. I should know better than to take anything for granted. In retrospect, the satellite was suspicious from the start. Not only had it appeared out of nowhere, but Titor only started posting afterwards. I'm disappointed in myself for not realizing the connection. I'm glad Suzuha-san wasn't hurt in the crash. I doubt it was anything like a crash. It probably just appeared there, displacing the wall, which then collapsed around it. After all, the time machine isn't self-propelled, it doesn't fly. I heard it's really hard to drive. I guess she heard that from Suzuha. If the gravitational whatchamacallit coordinates are just a teensy bit off, the whole time machine becomes a jelly man and goes bloop. And she even said her name. She even said her time machine's unstable since it's not a CERN model. I'm worried about her trip to 1975. You think I should go with her? I wonder if I'd live. I wonder if I'd fit. What would you do in 1975? I'd cheer Suzuha-san on, of course. I'd hold her hand super tight and tell her that everything's going to be okay. Something tells me that won't be much help. Hey, Ocarine, do you think the time machine has a name? A name? That's the least of what I want to know about that's the least of what I want to know about the time machine. Time permitting, I'd like to spend a whole day picking Suzuha's brain. I'm pretty sure John Titor's time machine had a model number. The John Titor from 2000 might not have been Suzuha. There was no John Titor in 2000 in this world line after all. Although I suppose it's possible that Suzuha will drop by 2000 after traveling to 1975. If you want to know, ask Titor. Oh, yeah, Maishi didn't think of that. Mayuri giggles, then runs off to talk to Suzuha. She comes back quickly. Yep, it has a name. What is it? FG204 something, she said. Something? Anyway, don't you think Daru and Suzuha are a good match? Huh? Mayuri's jumping all over the place today. I look at Daru and Suzuha again. How do you figure? Daru is all about Ferris, you know. Oh, really? She tilts her head to the side. Good grief. Mayuri and I aren't of any use. I would prefer to leave Daru and Suzuha to it and resume the search for Suzuha's father, but Mayuri seems happy just sitting here. We don't have any leads on the pin or its owner. Maybe 2 days just aren't enough. No, that's quitter's talk. Like I told Suzuha, I don't want to give up. Besides, even if we don't get the information we need this time, I can use the time loop machine to repeat these 2 days until we do. Oh yeah, Mayuri, what happened to your costumes? There's only a few more days until Komima. I remember Mayuri pulling all-nighters to get her costume done. Has that changed? I already made 2 costumes, one for Kaide-chan and one for Buki-chan. Shot in the dark here. Were you making a 3rd one for Lukako? Yeah, I was, but I couldn't convince her, so I gave up this time. Well, we won't find out today. Ferris is her mom. We won't find out today, but I'm pretty certain we're if it's going exactly like the anime, we're gonna find out tomorrow. It's like I'm like 99% certain that as long as it goes the same way, we've got 3 hours tomorrow as well. We're gonna find out tomorrow. I know that's a fact. Pretty much, unless something's different in this game. Hey, can Mayushi take a closer look at the time machine? Just don't get in their way. Okie dokie. Mary beams happily, then runs over to the time machine. She's acting like this is a field trip. Behind her, the sun glows dark and orange on the horizon. It's quite a view from up here. After a few minutes watching the sunset in silence, I realize that Suzuha is standing beside me. She must have come over as Mayuri left. Our shadows are long and murky. True. That would be kind of shitty. Ashida Itaru's amazing. He said if things go well, he could have the time machine fixed by tomorrow. He's a man who gets things done. And he looks so unhealthy and slow. Don't judge a book by its cover. Yeah, I have a better impression of him now. Hey. There's something I want to say, and I feel like I'll never get another chance. Why so melodramatic? I'm really grateful to you, all of you. You don't think it could be anyone else? Well, she's born in 7 years. And all the male characters we met so far are Okabe. We've met Mr. Braun and Daru, right? So if by your logic that the father is someone you've already met, then it's one of those three. If we're going by your logic, of course. Right, there's no other male characters in the show. Well, there's Dr. Nakabachi, but we're gonna say no to that one. When I came to this time, I didn't know anyone. I was all alone in a world completely different from my own. This era is so peaceful. There's a wonderful. That's a wonderful thing, but it scared me. All I knew was the fight against CERN. But now I have friends, real friends, who I can share my secrets with. All these people who lived before I was born are working so hard for my sake. It's a strange feeling, but a happy one too. I wanted you to know that. Susa's tone is wistful. Why? I try to speak, but she continues before I can. Living with you guys in this time, it's been really fun. When I met you, you were all so strange and unique and over the top. I was kind of shocked at first, actually. But before I knew it, I started to enjoy spending time with you. 2036 is peaceful too. People don't even fight anymore. Did you know that? How could I? I'm not even alive in 2036, right? Oh, right. Sorry. Anyway, people don't fight ever about anything. All forms of conflict, war included, have vanished, poof, without a trace. Instead, everyone has dead eyes like a fish. No one has ambition, nobody dreams, they just trudge through their lives without a single complaint. Dude, life without conflict is fucking boring. Oh sure, people smile, but they never get angry or sad. There's no individuality, everyone's a robot. You got really mad at me before, remember? I was really surprised, but at the same time, I was really happy. You're a strange girl. I guess so. Susa looks at the time machine, and Daru and Mayuri are standing next to it, talking cheerfully about something or another. You're all so bright and full of life, I envy you. Shina Mayuri, Hashida Itaru, even Makise Kurisu, and of course you. Don't be ridiculous. There's nothing enviable about me. I'm worthless, I can't even save Mayuri. I want to be more like you. You ask me, you're the amazing one. I'm happy to hear you say that. It's thanks to all of you that I'm still going strong. Being a lab mem, even for just a little while, was great. She smiles then, a soft, sad smile that tears at my heart. What does it mean? Being with you guys, even for just a little while, was great. Kuzuha? Change the future, Okabe Rintaro. Make it a world like this one, where people can be free. Hey, come on. Why are you being so sentimental? Does she not want to go to 1975? But I mean, she's got a time machine, so she can just come back afterwards? Even as I think of it, I realize how wrong I am. Of course. When Susa completes her mission and brings us the IBM 5100, the world line will change. The future will be rewritten, and the 2036 she knows will cease to exist. To hear her describe it, the future is an awful place, but even so, it was her home. She has friends there, I'm sure, comrades in arms, and memories of her father barrel tighter. All of that will be lost to her forever. No wonder she's getting sentimental. After we fix the time machine, let's have a party. Thanks. And yet, she's still smiling that sorrowful smile. There's a perfect place to save. Perfect. Right at 11. Right at 11, baby. Look at that same fucking menu. is when we started, baby. You know, start it that way, end that way. That's what I'm talking about. Let me save again, just to be sure. What do you think so far, Ohio? Think this shit's good? Are you down? You enjoying this shit? You hooked? Oh, fuck. Well, we should be done in a few days, probably. But I'm not sure. Maybe, I would say probably like 3 or 4 more days is my guess. It could be longer than that, though. That's my guess. There's like a low end guess because I know there's still a decent amount left. Yeah, we like unlocked the we know we're at least past 50%, right? Because we just got this. Apparently, we got 50% of all of the screens. So I'm guessing based on the game, at least we're like 50-ish, probably a little bit more than 50-ish% through the game. So we're looking probably at another 10 or 15 hours probably. So 3 or 4 more days probably. So we'll see. But I'm enjoying it so far. It's really fun. But we'll be back at 8 o'clock tonight. Probably, I think it's gonna be 8 to 11 as well. So we'll see how far we get. But that's all for now. Later, guys.